important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions.
Just outside of Sacramento is a place where families build friendships that last a lifetime. The Golden State Shooting Center is a clay target shooting facility. It's the home of numerous local high school and youth sport shooting teams. Skeet and trap shooting is a safe, exhilarating sport. School team members can compete for numerous college scholarship opportunities. Teams are being formed now, and new members are welcome. Call the Golden State Shooting Center for details or visit them online at goldenstateshootingcenter.com.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabrud Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabrud's now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabrud's. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabrud's, locally owned for more than 30 years. G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's. G-U-B-R-U-D-S. Gabrud's.com.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Tell your friends. Grant's back. Grant Napear is back on the Sacramento airwaves right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst. K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento. Hello. Hello, Sacramento. Sacktown. And welcome in.
Grant Napear.
How you been? You know this guy.
It's your show.
So happy to hear you on the airwaves.
2+ decades on the radio with you.
Just the start of an incredible journey.
Now he's back on Fox Sports 104.7 FM and 890 AM.
3 to 6 every day, Fox Sports Sacramento.
The phone number?
916-779-0929.
His name? Grant Napear.
And a good afternoon, everybody. We get you to the weekend. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining me right here on Fox Sports Sacramento. Buck Martinez, former MLB player, manager, also the manager of the inaugural World Baseball Classic in 2006 for Team USA. Former broadcaster, he just retired, leaving the Toronto Blue Jays booth. He's going to join me at 4 o'clock. Joe Davidson. He's going to talk about the CIF state championships going on, both the boys and the girls, here in Sacramento at the Golden One Center. He'll be on after Grant's rant. I've been thinking a lot about this the past 48 hours when Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat put 83 on the board. And the scrutiny that has followed and the debate that has followed is, I'm trying to figure out, is it a sign of the times? Is it due to social media? Is it due to the purity or lack thereof now in sports? Like, for instance, I've always had a problem with records in the NFL that don't have an asterisk next to them when there was a 14-game season. Like, unless you run for 2,000 yards in 14 games, to me, that's not the record. O.J. Simpson has the record because he did it in 14 games. Then it went to 16 games, and now it's 17 games. So, like, to me, you need to put things into perspective when an individual currently in the National Football League comes up with a record, whether it's passing yards, rush yards, whatever the case may be, sacks, Myles Garrett. Well, I'm sorry. He had an extra game to do it. And if you want to go back to a different era where you had 14 games, it's a big difference. What is the most disputed record in all of sport? What is it? It's the home run record in Major League Baseball because of the steroid era. This season home run record, the total, is it Ruth or is it Bonds? There are a lot of people that don't acknowledge Bonds. So what about Bam Adebayo? Why so much talk about it? Why? Was it because of the way the game was played at the end? Was it because of the 43 free throws? It got to a point where even Eric Spoelstra, the head coach of the Miami Heat, got defensive when asked about it and said, hey, man, I don't have any regrets.
I apologize to absolutely no one, period. And, going into the game, it's a Tuesday night game against a team where they're not playing for anything, where their organization is trying to lose. We've already lost a game, in that kind of situation. We have players that are sitting out, and I spoke to Bam about I want, as our best player and team captain, for him to be locked in and ready. And he sure was.
He was. But again, think about how much you have probably heard. I asked Olden Polynice about this on Wednesday. I've been getting a lot of, talk on my social media accounts asking me for my opinion on it. We talked with Jerry Reynolds about it on our postgame show over on YouTube and X as he was watching Bam Adebayo, who scored 83 points. That was interesting what Spoelstra said. He has no regrets. But then I found his next answer even more interesting.
People, say, you've got to be a purist. I'm a Darwinist in this league. It really, you can do anything you want in this game. You can approach it however you want. If we get criticized for what we do, it was probably irony in these two organizations. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. If you can, tank and get a great draft pick, I don't care. Like, you can do anything you want in this league.
How about that? If you want to tank and get a good draft pick, you can do whatever you want in this league. That's what's wrong with the NBA in a nutshell, is that you have a respected head coach, one of the best in the entire league, saying you can do whatever you want in this league. And you know what that points to me? The ineptitude of Adam Silver, who, yes, in all fairness to him, has a great TV contract, and he's putting money into the bank accounts of the owners. But you can pretty much stop right there. I thought that was very interesting by Spoelstra. So we get back to the 83 points. And then there are those that said, well, he should have stopped at 81 to pay tribute to Kobe. You know, I'm not into that. Okay? Like, I'm not. But when you have Wilt Chamberlain, Bam Adebayo, and Kobe Bryant, like, hello. And I'm not in any way, shape, or form taking away from the play of Adebayo, who's been an all-star, right? He's an all-star caliber player. I'm not in any way trying to diminish his talents as a basketball player because he's had a heck of a career. But Bam Adebayo with 83 points. And think about points scored. Well, Wilt Chamberlain played a different era and a different style of basketball when the three-point shot was not part of the game. You know, I was blessed to announce Klay Thompson scoring 37 points in one quarter. And that was one of the most amazing things I've ever experienced, not only from an announcer's point of view, but just from being at a game. Well, again, you have to put a little bit of research into that. In other words, you got to really look at the totality of what he did. The three-point shot is the only reason why he was able to score 37 points in a quarter, because he made 9 of them. If you take the three-point shot out of the game, or when the three-point shot was not as prolific as it is now, and that was pre-Steph Curry days, well, you got to put relevance behind the stat. I mean, what would happen if Reggie Miller was coming into the NBA right now out of UCLA? What would happen if Peja Stojakovic was 21 years old and entering the NBA right now, and other players like those? Where would the three-point records be? Correct? Like, what do you think Reggie Miller would do if he were coming into the league as a rookie out of UCLA with the way the game is played right now and with the volume of three-point shots? So the reason why I'm talking about this, I was very, I don't want to, like, go back on what I just said, because nothing in this society, in this day and age, surprises me. That goes as far as athletes getting into trouble, getting arrested, being brought up on murder charges, sexual abuse charges, stupid charges. Myles Garrett getting, 9 speeding tickets, many of which were cited for going 100 miles an hour. Like, nothing surprises me anymore. And so I'm not surprised when there is this type of debate for a record. But have we lost our way where every little thing has to be dissected down to the point where the head coach of the Miami Heat has to make the comment that he just did? Nothing surprises him anymore, basically. If you want to tank and lose games, so be it. Think about that for a minute. Where are we at with our sports in 2026? Like, is that unbelievable? Seriously. Is he only stating the obvious? Yes. But, like, what about the integrity of the league? Does that even matter anymore? That's where I'm really getting down to the essence of this. The integrity of the league. Does the integrity of a record matter anymore? Because if you really want to analyze how that game was played and Bam Adebayo's 83 points, you can raise serious questions about the integrity of the game, right? I mean, tanking, the integrity of the game, correct? A player that stays on the field, on the ice, on the court, in a game that has already been well decided, but that individual stays on their respective playing surface to achieve a certain record. We see it with bonuses, right? Player needs one more catch. There's a lot of talk that we saw with Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. You got to throw me the ball. I'm getting $1 million bonus. That happens even now. There's all kinds of different ways of looking at this. But after Adebayo scored 83, and I just saw all of the negativity coming his way, all of the criticism coming towards Eric Spoelstra, he got defensive there. You just heard the sound bites. He's like, hey, you know what? Too bad if you don't like it. I don't apologize. I have no regrets. And he basically, in a nutshell, talked about the NBA, and you can do anything you want. How about that? And so much so that you mentioned tanking. Didn't we just see that in the Kings game the other night? Soreness? Really? Malik Monk's not playing because his ankle is sore? Russell Westbrook's not playing because his thigh is sore? I can go on and on. What is really an injury and what's not? I've always defined it this way. If the game had meaning, and by meaning, I'm saying if the Kings were vying for a playoff spot or a play-in spot, and that was a really big game, how many of the players that did not play would have played? That, to me, is the definition of tanking. Could have you played? Would have you played? Are you just taking the night off because the team wants you to take the night off because they don't want to win? Are you really hurt? I can say I'm sore, too. I can say I'm doing my radio show right now, and my lower back is sore because I went out for a long, long walk earlier today. Does it affect my job? No. Name me a player in the NBA. A player in the NBA that is playing in the middle of March that doesn't have some sort of a sore ailment, part of their body, whatever you want to call it. Name me a player whose feet don't hurt, knees don't hurt, backs don't hurt. Name me a player in the NBA today in the middle of March that would tell you that they have no soreness. So now, all of a sudden, the team wants to say that a player has soreness and he's not going to play? It's a joke. It's a joke. Seriously. So I'm wondering, when Eric Spoelstra makes a comment like that, does it raise your eyebrows the way it did mine? Because I got to tell you, I was like, whoa. I was like, whoa. And here it is right here on the chat line on our YouTube page that we're streaming on Fox Sports Sacramento. This, I think, hits it right on the head. Was Eric's comments a shot at Silver? That Silver's no punishment for anything. It sure seemed that way to me. Ryan, I'm going to ask you, did you read into Eric Spoelstra's comment at all as the commissioner and what he does and what he doesn't do in terms of policing the league and tanking? Eric Spoelstra had a very strong comment, Rhino. You can do whatever you want in this league, including tanking.
Yeah, I did read it that way, especially because Eric Spoelstra is kind of one of those basketball purists. Pat Riley is one of those basketball purists. That organization is ran the right way, and it's kind of a green light saying, well, if they're going to tank, that's the way I took it. If you're going to tank, then we're going to play like everything's on the line. That's just the bottom line. Basically, I guess when you talk about integrity, and I'm going to kick it back your way, I think every fan defines integrity when it comes to a sport differently. So how do you define the integrity of the NBA?
My eyes tell me. I can't define it with words in a sentence. My eyes, based on the situation, tell me whether it's pure or not. I would have a different opinion than you because it's subjective, right? We have different standards of how we judge a record. For instance, there are a lot of people that feel that Bam Adebayo's 83 is garbage, that they're not even giving him props, that they're like, it's a joke. the way the game was played at the end, the way he got his 83. There are a lot of people that are not even acknowledging it. Not that it's a record. It's a Miami record. It's a record that he'll have forever. I mean, in terms of his high point total, my eyes tell me whether the record was pure or not, or whether it's something that will stand on its own merit. My eyes tell me that after I watch it.
Well, he could have stopped at 81, and there would have been the same group waiting for him.
Of course.
And I think that's part of the formula, too, is now the common fan has a platform to voice their opinions. Now, it's not just your singular opinion, because you can rally a group together on social media and then it catches steam, etc. But to me, I just go to ethos, right? With Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah.
If he feels like the ethos are off in the NBA, the way it's being ran, and even to a degree, the players, Grant, then why not? Go get it.
That's the beauty of individual sports like tennis, like golf, like swimming, like track and field, right? Because you're out there on an island, you're by yourself, right? When Novak Djokovic or Roger Federer or Rafael Nadal are playing in a major, they're out there by themselves. Their records are pure. Now, you could say, well, what about when the Australian Open banned Novak Djokovic from playing for a couple of years because he wasn't vaccinated, and the U.S. Open? Should there be an asterisk next to the winners that year because of an individual that was not vaccinated and was not permitted to travel in those regions of the world? Like, you can really dissect this a lot of different ways, right? You could look at the Players' Championship right now. Is this really it's round 2 currently going on? I've got it on in front of me. Is this truly the greatest golfers in the world? No, it's not, because Bryson DeChambeau and John Rahm and others that are on the Live Golf Tour are not playing in it. Should there always be an asterisk compared to previous Players' Championships before there was a split in professional golf with Live Golf? You can talk about that with auto racing when the IndyCar had their split. I mean, you can really break this up in a lot of different ways. But Bam Adebayo's 83 to me, Ryan, and I didn't watch the game, but I went back now and I've watched and I've read a lot of it, doesn't seem pure to me. It seems manufactured to me. The beauty of an achievement, the beauty of that achievement to me has got a stain on it. That's how I'm looking at it.
Isn't an asterisk subjective?
Yes.
If you're a fan without common sense, as you look through record books, through history and how games have changed, technology, rules, etc., you don't need that asterisk. You remember it how you want to remember it. I think when I look at Bam's 83, is he in the game at that point? Probably not, Grant. What did Russell Westbrook do the other night when a player from the other team took a shot when they should have held it? He went over, put his arm around him, and taught him up. And even DeAndre Jordan came over and was part of that as well. So I think a large part of what this NBA is right now, we're going to figure out 15 to 20 years from now.
Yeah.
When
Good
players,
stuff. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I want to get your thoughts at 916-779-0929 on our text line. You can call the show. DAS Mechanical, what a great deed they are doing by donating a heating or air conditioning system to a family in need. If you or someone you know or a veteran is in need of a heating or air conditioning system, just go to dasmechanical.org. That's dasmechanical.org. Click on the 2026 HVAC nomination form. It will take a moment, and you might be the individual or the person you nominated to get a heating or air conditioning unit installed by Nick Delancey and his staff at DAS Mechanical. That's dasmechanical.org, your HVAC repair service experts, whether it's a new system, whether it's service, whatever the case, they've got you covered, serving Sacramento and Placer counties, locally owned, family owned. That's DAS Mechanical. Just go online now at dasmechanical.org and nominate yourself or somebody else. Don't forget Buck Martinez. We're going to talk about an event that seems to be gaining in popularity. That's the World Baseball Classic and other things. That's at 4 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Downtown Ford Sacramento welcomes you with literally acres of new and Ford certified pre-owned vehicles on site. You can start planning a road trip up into the snow now because Downtown Ford has the vehicles to get you there. And our top-notch service team will keep it running perfectly as long as you own it. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and fleet vehicles. Downtown Ford Sacramento. Open daily on Howe Avenue next to the How About Arden Shopping Center.
Are you SAC Alert? Have you signed up to receive emergency alerts via phone, text, email, or app? Well, what are you waiting for? Winter is coming, and that means there is potential for storms and flooding in our county. Don't get caught off guard or left in the cold. Get urgent storm evacuation and shelter information immediately sent directly to your device. Sign up today at sacramento-alert.org. Again, that's sacramento-alert.org. It's free, quick, and easy to do, and can literally be a lifesaver.
Remember, always be generous with the nutmeg. Just eyeball it.
Okay.
Mom's wisdom has served you well, but now it may be your turn to guide her.
Hey, I'm worried about Mom. She keeps forgetting her famous sweet potato pie recipe.
Some things come with age, sis.
And some don't.
Knowing the early signs of Alzheimer's in a loved one will help you make the best decisions for your family. Visit 10signs.org to learn the signs. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary.
Time analyst with the Toronto Blue Jays, played in the league, managed in the league, local guy. I always loved talking baseball with Buck Martinez. So he's going to join us in about 35 minutes. And then Joe Davidson is coming by at 5 o'clock, the ongoing CIF State Basketball Boys and Girls Championships going on right here. I think that's always, there's a lot of history. And some of the great players, like you can go to Bill Cartwright, Jason Kidd. I mean, there's a lot of great history, a lot of great history. So you can give me a call. You can text the show at 916-779-0929. That's 779-0929. We talk about records, right? And I still think the home run record in baseball, just because of the history of baseball in this country, is the most cherished home run record, and that has so much controversy behind it and will always have controversy behind it I think, until the end of time. I really believe that. So that is just the way it is. It is always going to be discussed in that way because of the steroid era, what really is the record. And that's why Bonds is not in the Hall of Fame. That's why Roger Clemens and Mark McGwire and Sosa, they are not in the Baseball Hall of Fame. All right, let's get to some phone calls. And why don't we get to Citrus Heights and talk to Bill. Bill, welcome to the show.
Hey, Grant, I appreciate you just mentioning about Barry Bonds because no sport was more dependent upon its iconic records than baseball. 367 lifetime batting average, 714, then 755, 4192, and then what Pete Rose did. 190 RBIs. Those sorts of records, 510 pitching wins. Now they mean nothing. And they have to come up with stats like WAR, WAR. Here's his WAR stat. It doesn't stick. And that's one of the ways baseball kind of damaged its legacy to me.
I agree with you. I think you're spot on when you mention those numbers, the Ted Williams and what he accomplished. And you can go back in all of the numbers, the 56-game hitting streak, right? I mean, are we ever going to see that with Joe DiMaggio? Are we going to see the numbers that you just talked about? You're 100% correct. I agree with you. Yep.
406.
Yep.
Important number.
Yep.
Now it's just kind of, it means nothing because they have other stats that mean irrelevant. It's not something you can measure against. It's kind of, these are agent stats to try to get somebody a raise. So
it's good stuff. Good job, Bill. Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you. We get to Richard in Paradise. Hello, Richard. Is paradise really paradise?
It is. It really is. It's sad that we ain't growing more trees like we should be, but it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So my take on this today is, I watched the game, and people are forgetting the first three quarters this man put on, and the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter. And I think a lot of things that people don't realize too is he's not that household name where everybody says, oh man, we weren't expecting that. So he's not in the agenda. But for anybody to take away what he did, regardless, he's a big man. And, let's not also forget that they've blown almost 8 fourth quarter, 20 or points more this year. They've blown leads. And to have everybody's, I understand both sides of it. But at the end of the game, if you watched, they also went after all their players so he wouldn't get to the free throw line, and he still got there. So I'm not going to take. I love NBA. I just think it's great for the game because we teach our kids, and we teach kids growing up. You play till the bell, you play till the sound, you play till it's over. Unfortunately, they do have a team out there that's tanking, and you know what? At the same time, if this goes down as it happened against this team. So in the history of the books, this team should have been out there playing their best. They didn't. Bam was the only starter in the rotation. I believe he might have been one other person. And to be a leader out there, he led the way. And that's what you got to ask for your leaders. So for any kids that are out there that don't understand what leadership is, at the same time, being competitive, and being a stud, and at the end of the day, have to ice your elbow because you shot so many times. I mean, 36, for 43 at the line?
Yeah, 36 of 43 from the foul line.
He had to make those shots regardless.
Yeah.
I know they're called free throws, but how many of us have been out there, especially in front of fans in America, to make these shots? So kudos to Bam. At the same time, they are going for a playoff.
Very good point, Richard. Appreciate it. You have a good weekend. Thanks very much for chiming in on this.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye now. 916-779-0929. Ryan, I didn't even ask you, what side of the fence are you on when it comes to Bam Adebayo's 83? You fine with it? Did you have any issues with it? I know you didn't watch the game. I didn't watch the game. We did talk about this with Jerry Reynolds, and he said it was amazing when he was watching it. What is your take on it after having 48 hours to kind of dissect everything?
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
In this NBA, I am completely fine with it.
What's this NBA? Explain what you mean about this NBA.
Rest management, tanking, those are the two major issues. But
is there a sport more messed up right now than the NBA? And I mean, when I mean messed up, I'm talking about the negative talk. I talked about this with OP on Wednesday. We've talked about this with Jerry. When I talk about the sport of professional basketball, there's so much negativity right now associated with the way the game is played in the NBA.
No, there's not. I mean, you could make an argument for baseball, but they are a strike, I think, away from that, a player strike.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, the NBA is constantly in the news for all of the wrong reasons. And unfortunately, I don't know how you drag it back. I think it really is going to be up to this next generation of players, your Wembanyama's, who's kind of taking the bull by the horns and saying, I'm going to lead this league forward.
How about what SGA's just accomplished?
SGA knocking off Wilt Chamberlain's record, 21 straight games with 20 or more points.
Are we talking more about that, or are we talking more about the controversy around Bam Adebayo's 83?
You're definitely.
And when I mean we, I'm not talking about you and me. I'm talking about the national media and the fans of this country.
It is 100% Bam, because not only is it passing a guy like Kobe, not only is it 17 from 100, it ignites that whole conversation. But then conversely, SGA, what is he? He's a quote unquote foul merchant, right? He doesn't play the game the right way. So you have detractors that are pulling down on his record now. So it's definitely.
Is that also because he's in Oklahoma City, and even though they just won a championship, the perception is, oh, no one cares about Oklahoma City. It's Oklahoma City. You know,
No,
I mean, okay.
no.
So that doesn't factor into it at all.
No. Look, people.
Because he doesn't get the respect that a lot of the other previous MVPs get.
He does not. And here's why. Everybody is used to a piss poor style of basketball without fundamentals, where everybody's hucking up 36 shots with like 17 on the shot clock, right? What's SGA do? He plays the game in a fundamental manner.
Yes,
he has a
does.
mid-range game.
Yes.
Shot fakes, triple threat, etc. That is why people are having a hard time digesting SGA. He's foreign compared to what you're watching on a nightly basis.
I can't argue with that. It's a great point. It's a great point. I wish more people would play the game the way he did. Maybe not to his level, because I don't know if you can obtain his level of greatness, but the way he plays. What do we always talk about with European players, right? We've always talked about, gee, they're so fundamentally sound. They are. Very rarely do you see a European player. Well, look at Max Reynaud. There's an example right here in Sacramento. Look at Hito Turkoglu when he was on the Kings. Look at Peja. Look at Vlade Divac. I mean, there is truth to that. Like, that's not just something that you make up. So I think Ryan's spot on when he talks about SGA and the way he is so fundamentally sound. As spot on. Let's get to Tim in Midtown. Hello, Tim.
Grant, how we doing? Happy Friday.
Same to you, Tim.
Hey, I was actually just thinking about the Kings and our draft pick that we got coming up, because I was just looking at the schedule. Kings, the way they've been playing the last couple of games, they're trying to compete. They got the young guns. They're out there. They're competing. The light and the beam. I'm looking at some of the other teams like the Pelicans, as well as the Jazz, and a few of these other top 5 picks. They
Brooklyn.
don't have many winnable games, especially. Yes, sir.
They play Brooklyn twice, too, and I'm mentioning that because I think those are going to be important games. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yep, no, absolutely. And we have some winnable games where the Wizards, they're playing. They're not going to win a single game, maybe one game. And I was just looking.
Yep.
Pelicans, they don't have many winnable games as well. I don't even think we're going to be – I think we're going to be pick 4 or 5. That's what it's coming down to. But this is what I wanted to think about. I don't know how much you've been watching in the college basketball, Grant Ryan, but Acuff and Jacob Wilson at the 4 or 5 spot, I like it.
I do, too. I think Wilson could be maybe the best player in the draft. I mean, I really do. Maybe the sample size isn't what you would like it to be, but to just talk about your thing, Washington has 49 losses. Indiana has 51 losses. Sacramento has 51 losses. And listen, I want the best odds. So you make a great point there. The Kings may win games here down the stretch that we're all going to be hoping they will lose. But I'd be okay with that, too. I mean, getting one of those players, I don't think that would be the worst thing in the world. But most people feel right now it's a 2 to 3 player draft in terms of your quote-unquote stars. I will tell you this, and Jerry will tell you this, and others will tell you, there's going to be a player that's not taken at the top of the draft that in 3 years you're going to look at and go, that player would have been a top 4 pick. Happens every year.
As it always is. Yep, absolutely. If you get the opportunity, I don't know if you've watched a lot of A-Cup from Arkansas, point guard. Check him out tonight. Absolutely elite ball scorer.
Well, hey, thanks very much, Tim. Appreciate it.
Sure. Enjoy.
All right, we'll come back with more phone calls next, right here on Fox Sports Sacramento. Buck Martinez in about 20 minutes here on the Grant Napear Show.
We are There's a great American pastime that the entire family can enjoy together, located right outside of Sacramento. The Golden State Shooting Center welcomes you. The Golden State Shooting Center is an 80-acre clay target shooting facility. It's the home of numerous youth sport shooting teams from the region. Over 1,000 high school students from Northern California are on sport shooting teams, and 10 of the Western United States' top shooting teams train at Golden State Shooting Center. New members are being accepted now. For details, visit goldenstateshootingcenter.com.
Homeowners, for any electrical project you need done, trust the good dudes at Gabroods. Locally owned, 5-star service experts, always transparent prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Call Gabroods or visit Gabroods.com. G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country, and your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
There's a unique place in downtown Sacramento on the corner of 16th and V Streets that is special for those who enjoy a fine cigar. It's called Hattaway Cigars. It's that little red place right there at 16th and V Streets. It's spelled H-A-T-U-E-Y. The Hattaways are a distinguished family of cigar makers originally from Cuba. And for 3 generations, the Hattaways have produced world-class hand-rolled artisan cigars like the Habana and the Gran Cubano, world-class cigars favored by cigar aficionados from all over the world. Hattaway cigars originate from Cuban seeds, grown in the historic El Cibao Valley in the Dominican Republic, where many of the world's finest cigar tobaccos are grown. Hattaway Cigars' spacious lounge features a walk-in humidor with more than 100 different varieties of hand-rolled cigars. Hattaway Cigars, open daily downtown at 16th and V, online at hattawaycigars.com. Please be at least 21.
Investors, keep listening to learn how to get your free gold report. A currency crisis is upon us. The U.S. dollar has been the world's reserve currency for over 50 years, but that is changing. It's time to protect your retirement. Decades of reckless borrowing and spending have critically weakened the dollar. The U.S. has become the world's biggest debtor with over $35 trillion in debt. Plus, the dollar's become weaponized. Countries are dumping it. Investors who wait until it's too late could lose big. There is one safe haven: gold. Diversify your portfolio with a physical asset they can't take away. Call the Reagan Gold Group right now and ask for your free gold guide. Here's our number.
800-941-4184. 800-941-4184. 800-941-4184. That's 800-941-4184.
I'm retired, and worried about the cost of food, medicine, and rent. BenefitsCheckup.org connected me to an extra $1,000 a month. Best of all, it's free.
Sacramento. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, Grant. Happy Friday. I
Same
guess
to you.
my take on the whole Bam situation, definitely more leaning towards what Rhino said and one of your previous callers of like, as a big man, that's pretty impressive. Like what Bam was able to do. And I think we have to put some blame really on the Wizards, who, like you said in the Coach Bolster said in the soundbite, the Wizards aren't really trying to win, and how we can't take away from what Bam did in one quarter. Reminds me a lot of what I remember the game you called, never forget, with Klay Thompson hitting those threes in a single quarter.
Yep. 9 of them for 37 points.
Yeah, that's where I saw how impressive that was. You know, those first 3 quarters, I will say, and that's just, you know, you guys talked about it's subjective. The last 3 minutes did taint it a little bit for me, but I'm not going to take away from that 75 points, 80 points that he had. You know, you know, there were some free throws there that should they have gone for it, but overall, the performance from a big man such as Bam is still like amazing. You know, that's something you usually see from a guard.
Fair enough. Ralph, appreciate the feedback. Have a great weekend.
All right, you too.
All right. If you want to get in on the program, 916-779-0929. 209 wants to know if I saw the goal by William Eklund last night as the Sharks beat the Bruins. And if so, where does it rank in the best goals I've ever seen? It was good. It wasn't anywhere near the best goals I've seen. I don't think it's that big of a deal to bat the puck in. I see it all the time. It was tremendous balance, tremendous hand-eye coordination. It's not one of the best goals I've ever seen. Now, it was a nice move coming down the right wing, and he went to the backhand, and the goalie made the save. And then as he was continuing to skate through the crease, as he was falling down, he batted the puck in about waist high with the stick to the empty net. I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong. It was a very good goal, and it was a difficult goal, but nowhere near one of the best goals that I've seen. I've been watching hockey since the 60s. It's not one of the best goals I've ever seen. Good, and definitely quite an athletic feat. But in terms of like best goals of all time, if I want to even narrow it down to 25 or 50, it wouldn't be on there. It wouldn't be on there. It was good. It wasn't great. In other words, not great like some of the other goals that I've seen, that whether we're talking about Wayne Gretzky, Connor McDavid, there's some. Mark Messier had some amazing goals. Yari Curry, the speedster. I'll never forget Pavel Bure with the Vancouver Canucks in the mid-'90s, had some goals that to this day I still can't believe that he was able to score. Like if you go back and watch the Russian Rockets, some of his goals, it was like, oh my gosh. So again, it was good. I'm not going to diminish what he did. It's not one of the best I've ever seen. 916-779-0929. I didn't even mention the Guy Lafleurs of the world and some of the goals he scored. 916-779-0929. Glad to have you with us here. Again, Buck Martinez coming up in the next segment. And then at 5 o'clock, Joe Davidson. So I must ask Rhino, World Baseball Classic, you've had marginal interest in this, correct? Will you watch, as the quarterfinals are tonight, they're playing Canada, assuming that the United States ends up playing the Dominican Republic or Japan, will you watch those games, or will you watch any of those games?
Grant, I have a little bit of clone in my DNA, so anytime you can top Canada, I'll give it a peek.
Okay, so tonight you'll watch a little bit of the World Baseball Classic, correct?
I will be watching San Diego State as well.
Okay.
But yes, I will be watching.
Who's San Diego State play?
Good question. I just know they're in the second round of the
Yeah,
tournament.
I forgot to. I do too. I just forgot to look at who they're playing.
It could be San Jose State. San Jose State upset Boise State in the tournament. I'll double check during the break. I want to ask you a question though, since you started off and we've talked a lot about records in hour number 1. What records in sports right now do you think will never fall if you had to put a list together?
I don't think the 56-game hitting streak will ever occur. So I think that is safe. I don't think you'll ever see a batter bat 400 in Major League Baseball. I think that's safe.
Cal Ripken, Iron Man.
Yeah, you won't see the consecutive game streak that Cal has. You'll never see that again. Definitely will never see that again. There's just no chance. That's never going to happen. I haven't really given a lot of thought to it. Wayne Gretzky's record will never, ever be broken. Most points in his career. I don't think that will ever be broken. I mean, if you look at Wayne Gretzky and just look at his total points, goals, and assists, and then look at second on that list, like as great as Alex Ovechkin is, he's like 900 points behind Gretzky. Okay? Like it's never going to be broken in my opinion. Goals and assists, total points. So those are some. I'd have to really look at it. I don't think you'll ever see a running back run for 2,000 yards in 14 games the way Simpson did in the early 70s with the Buffalo Bills. I don't think that will ever be broken. A lot of that is because of the way the stylistic approach to the game and the way it's played. It's now more of a passing league than a running league. There are exceptions. You'll get a Derrick Henry from time to time. But again, you're not going to see 2,000 yards in 14 games. Just not going to happen. What about you?
SDSU's playing New Mexico. Thanks for picking me up, Jay, in the YouTube simulcast chat. 100 points is going to fall unless Adam Silver does something about tanking. You know, I can't really think of the only one that I was really thinking about was Cal Ripken. Other than that, you think points will get passed up by LeBron or by somebody other than LeBron, maybe Wemby?
Probably not. I don't think I'm just using my common sense here. I don't think his body is going to be able to play 20 years in the NBA.
Okay.
That was a close game last night, and he did not play. Wembanyama did not play last night in their game against Denver. They had the big lead, and then Denver came back.
Yeah.
You're not going to win without Wembanyama. That's how fragile the playoffs are. I mean, if you look at what happened last year to Boston and Tatum, and you look at Halliburton in that game 7, I mean, when he got hurt, that game was, for all intents and purposes, over.
Yeah, 100%. Steph Castle had a triple-double, and they still lost.
That's correct.
Yeah. Jokic, Murray, both had 30. Jokic passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the most games with, I believe it was 20 points and 5 rebounds. It's pretty amazing.
And he probably doesn't even care.
No.
And by that, I mean, like, he'll just go, so what? When's the next game?
Yep. He's more worried about his horses. That's what he is worried about. The players, Grant, much different today on 17. 20-degree wind.
Yes, I've been watching it. Kim just went into the water about 5 minutes ago. Tommy Fleetwood is on the 17th right now. Scotty Scheffler, keep an eye on him.
Making a run.
Keep an eye on who's going to be in and who's going to be out on the cut line. So keep an eye on that 18th hole. You got Ludwig Oberg, who's having an incredible round of golf. And he is in tight on the 18th, already at 11 under par. Currently, the cut line looks like it's at 2 over. And there are some really good players right on that cut line. I'm talking about some of the game's best players. So keep an eye on that as players come down the stretch right now. But let me see here. Oberg is now at 12 under, so he made that birdie. Schauffele is at 10 under. Those are your leaders with a couple of holes left. It's still some daylight in Florida, thanks to a daylight savings time, but the clock's moving ahead an hour this past weekend.
Oberg on safely.
Yeah.
There you go.
When you think about the wind, on the par 3 17th, it determines everything, like it does on a lot of shots in golf. But because you have such a small surface, it looks like the players that are later in the day are getting a bigger advantage with the wind dying down. So whether you are in the morning group or the afternoon group, and you would, like, for instance, Rory yesterday was in one of the last groups, so he goes off early in the morning, so you don't have much time. And there was a lot of concern about his back because of what happened last week at the Arnold Palmer, whether how that would turn out after like a 20-hour turnaround. But he was fine, and he'll be playing on the weekend. But right now, I'm looking at the par 3 17th, and it looks very, very calm. It's just the luck of the draw. And that's true of all golf courses, no more so than when you play at the Open Championship. But the flag on the par 3 17th is not even moving. So it's a very easy hole right now for the players.
I think 18th is a scarier shot
I agree.
Than 17.
It's unbelievable, the 18th. Absolutely. Especially when you're in the lead or not, how much of the fairway do you cut off with the water lining the entire left side of the fairway all the way to the green? And then if you go too far to the right, you can be boxed in, you can be in the rough. So it is a narrow fairway, and it is how much of the water do you cut off? You got to hit a fade. A lot of the players hit a fade on that hole. How much of the water do you try to cut off there?
So it's 400. It's playing 455 yards today.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll ever see somebody that can drive the green on that
Not
hole?
unless the wind is at their back on that hole. No. Do I think 455? If it's wind aided, yes.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Wind aided. Absolutely. I mean, if the wind were behind DeChambeau's back for a decent amount, maybe. Hey, I want to talk to you about Village Financial Group. We talk so much about the real estate market. A lot of people are doing home equity lines of credit because they don't want to mess with their low interest rates that they had locked in years ago at 3%. Rates are continuing to look good, under 6% in a lot of places. But if you are comfortable with where you're at, but you want to take some of the equity out of your home, Spencer at Village Financial Group is the man, regardless of whether you are buying a home, selling a home, or looking for that home equity line of credit. Spence is very experienced. He is great at what he does. He has a family-owned business that he began back in 2000. And here's something else that you want to keep in mind. He has access to private money. Now, you might say, well, why is that important? Well, he's a specialist when it comes to financing. And when you have access to private money, it can expedite the closure of your loan and get you to the finish line a lot faster. And with Spence, kind of like a boutique white glove service, he is going to take you from the start line to the finish line, and he's going to make sure that you are receiving and getting the service you expect. Spence at Village Financial Group. Call or text him at 916-805-4868. That's 916-805-4868. Also, go online and check out thousands of listings of available homes for purchase at vfgloans.com. That's vfgloans.com. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. I always talk about Sacramento being a tremendous baseball town. There's been so many phenomenal players in our area that have gone on to have tremendous careers with big league baseball. One of them is Buck Martinez from Elk Grove, long career in the bigs, and a guy that managed, I thought, one of the top broadcasters in North America. Began his career in the late 70s. Had a nice career. Kansas City, Milwaukee, Toronto. Managed the Toronto Blue Jays in the early 2000s, and then into the broadcast booth. I love talking with Buck. He's great. He's going to be coming on next. Our local product. He just retired, so congratulations to him on his retirement. He is no longer part of the Toronto Blue Jays broadcast team after many, many years. He's coming up next. I'm looking forward to that. Buck Martinez, Elk Grove's finest, coming up next here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Did you hate your heating bill this winter? Fix it with 10-10-20 from Sierra Pacific. 10 years parts and labor warranty, 10 years to pay, and 20% off a new Sierra Pacific comfort system. Plus, this system will get SMUD customers a $3,000 rebate. Lock in the best price of the year on the best option for heating and cooling your home. 10-10-20, only from Sierra Pacific.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
We all want to look and feel our best. Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center invites you to live your best life every day. There are simple, practical, and inexpensive changes that you can make in your life today that will elevate your life in so many incredible ways. If it feels like it's time to hit that reset button and start living your best life now, Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center invites you to schedule a free healthy aging consultation with Dr. Dennis Godby, an accomplished author and expert in the art of aging gracefully. As we age, things change. We might start to experience lower energy, changes in mood, brain fog, or just a lack of motivation. And for guys, the onset of middle age can mean a lower libido and oftentimes ED. These things can usually be safely and easily treated. Visit gettingbetternow.com today and schedule your free healthy aging consultation with Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center, located in Midtown.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Grant Napear is back every weekday afternoon, 3 to 6. This is Fox Sports, KSAC.
Congratulations on his retirement. It is an absolute pleasure to welcome Buck Martinez to the Grant Napear Show. Buck, long time no speak. How are you?
I'm doing great, Grant. Great to be with you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Before we begin, I want to let you know, a little birdie wanted me to let you know that in 2006, the runner did not leave early from third base, okay?
Well, there's been a lot of discussion about that. Mr. O wasn't very happy with the call, that's for sure.
So you have great perspective on the World Baseball Classic, and I think this has been great for the sport of baseball, and the TV ratings are really, really impressive. What has impressed you the most about the development of this tournament that you were first part of in 2006, and here we are 20 years later, and a lot of people have really gravitated to it?
Yeah, Grant, I think it's the purest form of baseball. Nobody cares about spin rate, extra velocity, any of that stuff. Everybody is concerned about winning and losing. And especially now, you lose, you go home. So, when you need to get a runner from second to third, you got to do it. Whether you're Bryce Harper or Aaron Judge or Bobby Witt Jr., you got to get the job done. It's all about winning now. It's pure baseball. It's a wonderful tournament. I think we've seen the growth around the world. Of course, we know Asia's always been a hotbed for baseball. Japan, Korea, Taipei have always had great baseball backgrounds. And now it's gone to Europe with the Netherlands and Italy playing so well. And eventually, I think we're going to see the Czech Republic have a representative team in this tournament because they're coming on pretty good too. But it's a wonderful tournament. I was happy to be part of the first one, and it's changed a lot. Back then, not everybody was sure they wanted to play. Now they're clamoring to play, and I'm very proud of that.
You were surprised, weren't you, about Mark DeRosa in the comments before they even qualified for the quarterfinals? I think I saw something on the internet. You've been there, I mean, you must have been like, wow, what is he talking about?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. There are a lot of nuances to this tournament. We got beat by run differential. The three teams in the pool in Anaheim in 2006, Korea was 3-0. Mexico, Japan, and Team USA were all 1-3, or 1-2, excuse me. And we had scored 4 fewer runs than we allowed. So we were out by run differential. So it was really a tough way to go. But you know what? The staff of USA Baseball, they're there to help you explain everything. And, I think Mark got caught up in the excitement of beating Mexico and just kind of misspoke there.
Buck Martinez, our guest here on Fox Sports Sacramento. Buck, I had a listener the other day wanted me to ask you, these players are all getting ready for the start of their season, right? This is now spring training, but they're playing in the World Baseball Classic. Can you talk about the difference in terms of them getting ready for the start of their major league season? Is this a benefit to them? Is it a hindrance? Do they get enough work in on off days as compared to what they would be going through at their training centers at spring training sites?
Yeah, Grant, that's a great question. And that was our number one concern in 2006.
We just lost Buck. All right. But you know what? We'll drop him and then we'll see if we can reconnect with him because I really want to connect with him. So we'll get Buck back on the line here in a moment. And I want to, first of all, say thank you to our listener who wanted me to ask Buck that question because he just said that's a really great question. I want you to look at opening day. It's not that far from now. It's right around the corner. And whereas the World Baseball Classic is representing your nation, and there's a lot of civic pride and patriotism and everything to that, you're getting paid the big bucks for 162 games, your respective teams, and you got to be ready to go. And games in April and really March, you might say, well, it's early in the season. Well, if you miss the playoffs by one game, when it's all said and done, you're still not in the show. So I think it was a great question. Happy for that. And we'll try to reconnect with Buck here in just a moment. All right, we'll get him on in just a moment. But, here's the guy that spent 17 years in the bigs. Think about that. As a catcher, player, and then managed. So he's got a tremendous understanding of the game, both from a player's perspective, from a manager's perspective, and now as the inaugural manager of Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. he's got a unique perspective. There aren't a lot of people that can say that they have done what Buck Martinez has done in his career and then into the broadcast booth. So I'm delighted that we're able to connect with him, and we are trying to reestablish a line with him. And as soon as we do, we'll get him back on. In the meantime, you can text the show. Well, actually, we got Buck right back now. We'll get to him. Buck, we got you back, I believe. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, you were talking about like spring training, everything in terms of playing and not playing, getting ready for the season. You got cut off. So if you could repeat that, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a big concern of ours because it was the first time of the tournament and everybody was getting ready for the regular season. There were a lot of general managers and owners that weren't really pleased with their players leaving spring training for a first-time tournament. But fortunately, we had a lot of great players, and because you got Ken Griffey Jr. and Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter and Chipper Jones, everybody fell on board. We had Roger Clemens and Jake Peavy and Dontrell Willis as our starters. But I promised everybody that committed to us on Team USA that they would start a game, and we would probably play half a game. And just, at that time, it was more important to make sure the players felt like they were getting their work in than it was to win. Obviously, we wanted to win very badly. It broke my heart when we were eliminated. But that first time, I felt it was very important to make a commitment to the players to make sure they didn't miss any time. And another thing we did is we had a lot of very young players on the roster. Chad Cordero was 23. Houston Street was 22. Dontrell Willis was 24. We got young players, and Jeff Francoeur was 22. Vernon Wells was very young as well. And we wanted to make sure those players experienced the World Baseball Classic. And the next time when they're more established, they would be the ones that would recruit for Team USA.
Buck, I say this knowing full well of your background with the Blue Jays, and I believe that the recent World Series between the Blue Jays and the Dodgers was as exciting and as entertaining as any that I've ever watched, and I've been following baseball since the days of Mickey Mantle in the 60s with the Yankees. I don't recall a more exciting World Series, but I'm not a fan of the way the game is played now. It's actually turned me off. You started off this interview by talking about launch angles and velocity. I don't care about that stuff. I just am not crazy about the way the game is played now. You've been in the game a lot longer than I have from where you started in the bigs in the late 60s. What's your take on the way the game is played? I'm not talking about the World Baseball Classic. I'm talking about Major League Baseball.
Yeah, Grant, it's a lot different. There's no question about it. And, it started in 73 with the DH, and that's when they changed it. And each league had their own set of rules. Basically, each league had their own umpires. National League umpires were more strike-prone than American League umpires. They call more strikes, in my estimation, than the American League umpires. But it's changed over the years. And, I think that there were times when baseball was going through a tough stretch, especially after 94 and that strike and the missed World Series in the postseason. But, I agree with you. I mean, I'm old school. I'm as old school as anybody. I left Sacramento City College and went to Eugene, Oregon in 1967 to start my career with the Phillies. That's why I love the World Baseball Classic so much. It really emphasizes winning. And I think that's what the game is all about. There's only one man on a major league roster that really has a one-loss record, and that's the manager. And he's the one that's under the most heat.
I will tell you that in all my years of watching baseball, and as a diehard New York Yankees fan, and you were part of that playoff series in 76 and 77, and one of the great interviews that I've ever had was with George Brett up at Lake Tahoe. I just loved everything about the way he played the game. What was it like being a teammate of George Brett's?
Well, man, that was a special experience, of course, but we were also roommates, both in the minor leagues and in the big leagues. So George and I still are very close. I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. He was a self-made player. He never hit 300 in the minors. He worked hard with Charlie Lau and Hal McRae and became a Hall of Fame player. And you know what? He played with so much joy. He played the game the right way. And I remember him telling me, somebody asked him, how do you want to be remembered? He said, I want to hit a ground ball to the second baseman. and be thrown out by half a step and have a dad in the stands tell his 10-year-old boy, that's the same way he started. I mean, that's pretty special.
Wow.
George came from a baseball family. All three of his brothers played baseball as well. Of course, his late brother, Ken Brent, was a terrific major league pitcher. But, George was a special guy. And that was a great memory. He hit the home run against Grant Jackson in Game 5 in 76 to tie up the game. And he was on deck, would have been the next hitter had we not hit into a double play in the top of the ninth.
You mentioned Charlie Lau, one of the great names from that era in terms of teaching batting and really taking players and elevating them. What do you think made Charlie Lau so great at his craft?
Well, he understood what a player had and what he was capable of doing. He had Joe Rudy in Oakland, made Joe a terrific hitter.
Yeah.
Then he had McRae and Brett, Kansas City. He helped Dwight Evans later on because Dwight Evans was a student of Walter Reniak, who was mentored by Charlie Lau. But, Charlie was terrific. You know what, Grant? And he was great at hitting. He probably helped me become a 17-year major league catcher more than anything.
Really?
As far as understanding how to pitch to good hitters, because he knew what good hitters were looking for. He and I would meet 3 times during the course of the game, before the game, during the game, and after the game. And my wife will tell you she spent many hours waiting after a game for me to come out of the clubhouse because Charlie and I would sit and talk about the lineup that night and what we had and what we had done and what we could have done and what we should have done.
Buck, this year, fans are going to get a look at the ABS system that has been in the minors. We've watched it in spring training. Are you pro or con with this new system that is going to be part of baseball?
Yeah, it's really interesting. And I think it's going to work all right because you only get 2 challenges. And, most managers are going to insist that the pitcher doesn't have a chance to use it because he's falling off the mound. He thinks everything he throws is a strike.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be left up to the catcher and the batter. But I really don't mind it. I like the pitch clock because that's the way we played.
Yes.
Nobody wanted to stand on the mound and announce, their presence and wait for their walk-up music and all that. We got the ball and we threw it. Nobody did that more than Ray Shell and Spahn and Bob Gibson and those guys. But, one thing that I always remember, you mentioned the Game 7 of the World Series this year. We got to broadcast all the postseason games in Canada. And that was my last game as a broadcaster. And, there's only one finish that would have been better. But it was one of the greatest playoff experiences I've ever seen, to see the Blue Jays come back in Game 7 against Seattle and then take it into extra innings in Game 7 against the Dodgers. A terrific World Series.
Well, you talk about the most famous home run in the history of Toronto, Joe Carter. I've had the pleasure of interviewing him a number of times. So, I mean, you've experienced so much. I was thinking about this, Buck. Your career that went 17 years as a player, big league manager, the WBC broadcaster. You've had such a marvelous career. But when you look back at your career, is there anything that you regret? Do you have any regrets about your career? Because I'm just looking at it, and to me, it's a wow career, just a wow. I mean, your legacy in baseball is a wow.
Yeah, there were a lot of things that you would have done different with the experience you have later on in your career. I was a very good hitter coming out of Sac City, and actually should have been a better hitter in the big leagues, but it never worked out. But as far as experiences, you mentioned the Game 5 of the 76 playoffs against the Yankees.
Yep.
I was 3 for 4 in that game and tied it up and was on base when they turned the double play. And then the first pitch of the bottom half of the ninth, Chris Chambers hit out of the ballpark. That was a bittersweet memory. But getting back to the World Baseball Classic, the opportunity to exchange lineup cards with Satoharu O at home plate in Anaheim before the start of our game against Japan, that was pretty special.
Wow, that's unbelievable to me. I didn't even realize that. Wow, we're talking about one of the great legends in that country. I mean, and we talk about baseball in Japan, and we talk about Ohtani. Can we call him the greatest baseball player of all time or not yet?
Ohtani?
Yes.
Yeah, he's getting there, isn't he? He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
If he does hurt his arm, he can play in the outfield. He runs like a deer.
Right.
50 stolen bases, 50 home runs. Nobody's ever done what he's done. He's phenomenal. And, he has such great ability to rise to the occasion. When he struck out Mike Trout to end the WBC in 2023, that was pretty awesome. But, Sandoval, I was so fortunate, Grant, because I played so long.
Yeah.
I played for Frank Robinson in winter ball. I tagged out Roberto Clemente in the playoffs in winter ball at home plate.
Wow.
I played with Harmon Killebrew, played for Frank Howard, played for Bobby Cox, played for Whitey Herzog. Very, very fortunate to play a long time and play against so many players. Actually, Reggie and I were teammates in Puerto Rico in 1971.
That's unbelievable, your names. And before I let you go, the names that have come out of this area, it's incredible, the list of major league players from Sacramento. What made, and take me back to when you were growing up in Oak Grove, what was it about this area that produced so many tremendous big league baseball players?
Well, Grant, there were a lot of former major leaguers and minor leaguers in that area. Of course, the Sacramento Solons were playing there then, and they were a farm team in AAA. So baseball was a big deal. We used to come home in the fall and play Winter League in Sacramento at Land Park. Every field at Land Park would be covered Saturday and Sunday from daylight to dawn.
Wow.
And the big team would play on field number 1 where Sac City used to play. We had so many players, and Dusty and I talk about it all the time, Dusty Baker.
Sure.
We had a American Legion All-Star game in Roseville. North Sacramento played South Sacramento. And we were the farmers. Elk Grove, South Sacramento, Florida, all that area. And we went up to play Dusty Baker and all those boys from up north. Well, we beat them in a double header. And Dusty always says, man, those Cowboys kicked the hell out of us. And they had the best looking girlfriends.
Hey, that really was a doubleheader. That's great stuff. Buck, congratulations on your glorious career. I hope you enjoy retirement. It's so great to hear your voice again and catch up with you. And I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Thank you. It means a lot to me.
Grant, it's always great to talk to people back home. Good luck to you, and thank you for having me.
Thank you, Buck. You take care. That's the great Buck Martinez. How about that? Let me tell you something. Did you just hear the names that he just mentioned? Roberto Clemente, Harmon Killebrew. Are you kidding me? Frank Robinson. That's a wow. And if you are younger and you're not familiar with some of the names that he just mentioned, trust me, okay? It's the Mount Rushmore of baseball names that he just rattled off. Wow. Played with George Brett with the Kansas City Royals. Wow. And managed in the lineup card in 2006. That is a wow with a capital W. I love talking with the Buck Martinez's of the world, the Susan Waldmans of the world. That's fabulous. Wow. I'm just going to say wow, wow, wow. And I might say that 10 to 15 more times before we get off the air. And I'll tell you what else is a wow. Rhino is a wow with his prize picks. That may be as big of a wow because he is destroying it, Rhino. Good job by you.
Appreciate the love. It has been an extremely, extremely fun week on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy site. If you have not joined me over there yet, this is the perfect weekend to sign up. We've got March Madness discounts beginning on 3/15 after they announce the NCAA tournament. Hey, and forget Adam Silver. Prize Picks is still going to hold Magic City Max discount night on Monday the 16th. All you have to do is choose more for Jalen Johnson in points. And guess what? It's only half of a point. All he has to do is score 1 point. Super simple. No revolving lineups, no salary caps. All you do is pick 2 to 6 players, choose more or less on their stat projection, and let them line your wallet up. I've been telling you, come join me there. Get social. You can share your profile, or you can share your lineups in your profile. Also, add friends, add me. All you have to do is download the Prize Picks app. Use the code RYNO50, RYNO50, to get $50 in free play after your first $5 lineup. Yes, $50 in free play if you use the code RYNO, RYNO50, in free play after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
We will take the time out. Don't forget Joe Davidson to talk about the boys and girls basketball state championships going on this weekend here in Sacktown. That's after Grant's Grant. What do you think about Buck Martinez? That's amazing. Wow, amazing. We'll be right back.
We are Buckmore.
Get the best. Bridgestone tires are engineered to keep your world moving, and that's what really matters. Now through March 31st, buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires and get $80 back on a Bridgestone prepaid MasterCard. Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. For the best selection in Bridgestone tires, get to Express Tires at 7215 Watt Avenue in Sacramento. Express Tires. Save big and get their 60-minute install guarantee. Get to Express Tires at 7215 Watt Avenue now. Express Tires.
Welcome to Par 18 Golf, Northern California's premier TrackMan Golf Performance Center. If you love the game of golf, you're going to love Par 18 Golf. Par 18 Golf is where serious golfers go to elevate their game to an entirely new level. Par 18 Golf features Ultratech TrackMan practice bays. These are the very same golf simulator systems that PGA players use to perfect their game. TrackMan systems use Doppler radar and high-speed cameras that give you instant feedback on your swing. It analyzes distance, ball spin, face angle, and club path. It's how the world's very best players train. Open for both private and group events, with memberships, leagues, and coaching available. It's for serious golfers who demand more from their game. Located inside the historic Nimbus Winery in Rancho Cordova. Open every day by reservation, rain or shine, day or night. Visit par18golf.com today and experience the future of golf performance. This past Saturday, we at Fox Sports Radio Sacramento had the honor of supporting the amazing Runnin' for Rhett organization during the Capitol Beer Fest. Event proceeds support Runnin' for Rhett's goal of encouraging us all to take that first step and move into life. Fox Sports Radio thanks Hotchaway Cigars, Custom Fireside, and Drake's Brewing for helping us score a big win for Runnin' for Rhett. And because it was a win for Runnin' for Rhett, we at Fox Sports Radio feel it's a big win for all of us. Thank you.
To Grant's Rant in about 35 minutes. We'll get you to the weekend, the Kings tomorrow with the Clips. That means you can catch the post-game show right on YouTube and X, Rhino and Jerry Reynolds as well. Said on the stream on YouTube, so beyond grateful for you guys, and I hope to meet you someday in person and tell you and give you each a big hug. Well, we appreciate your support. You know, we appreciate it. We love doing this show. I know Rhino is just like, he's in heaven doing radio show. I've been doing it a long time. I wouldn't say I'm in heaven, but I enjoy doing it. Okay, there's a little bit of difference, you know. Rhino, you're still, how do I want to say this, Rhino? You know what I mean? Like, I've been doing this for many, many, many years, so I wouldn't describe it as heaven. I think when you go to work at it every day, because everything is so new, you're like, wow, this is heaven. You know?
Yeah, 100%. New buttons to push. I've got to use the dump button one time. I can tell you this, though, Athena, we can all meet up. It might not be at Bennett's. Yeah, you see that?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
What is that? Is that
are
passport photos?
photos?
Oh, my gosh. You finally did it.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
One step left.
Yeah. If you can't do that one step within 2 weeks, then we've got real problems here. More than 2 weeks.
It's getting the appointment, right? It was so simple. I was like, do you do passport photos? Yes. Sit down. Straight face.
Duh.
Snap. Done.
Told you.
Expensive pictures, though. 16
How much?
bucks.
How much?
16.
Oh, come on. You got ripped off.
I mean, I feel
you
bad.
live in you know what? When you live in California, everything's absurd.
I feel bad for the poor brute that had to take my picture and process it, man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anyway.
$16 for that.
16 bucks. Yeah.
I think I'm going to change my career and do passport photos.
Hey, you know what? It was
Seriously.
Maybe I paid a little bit more because I went to a local spot. I like supporting local businesses, and I was in and out. I didn't have to wait.
Yeah, but $16, come on.
I'm okay with it. Support your local
I'm starting
businesses.
a new business. So it's going to be the Grant Napear Passport Photo Shop.
There you go. You've seen enough passport photos. You could probably figure out how to take them the correct
It would be
way.
not hard to figure out how to do passport photos. You can do them at home, by the way. Okay, you didn't have to go do it professionally done, but I just recommend that because of all the pressure on you, you get it done right as opposed to doing it yourself.
Yeah, well, it's done. I mean, maybe it's not done. Maybe there's no pictures in here, and I just got the booklet.
Well, that's
You'll
true.
never know.
That's true. That's a good point. Very good point. How many did they give you?
2. I have 2.
Oh, okay. All right.
Assuming.
That's for $16. You should get more than 2.
I mean, assuming I actually got my picture taken. 2. Yes.
Okay. Because it's good to have more than 2 because if you travel to certain countries, you have to do a online visa where you have to upload a picture just like that. And that's why you want more than 2.
Well,
so you'll have to go back and spend some more money.
Well, I suppose I could.
You can do that one yourself.
I can make copies of these.
Yeah, but you know what? For a lot of the visas, you can do it by yourself.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Then we're good.
Yeah.
Then we're good.
So, all right, let me hang on a second here. I've got to make sure we don't run out of juice here. So give me a second here.
Yeah.
I forgot to.
I should have plugged that in for you. My bad.
Yeah. Why didn't you?
You know what? I was slacking. I was too excited about my passport photos. YouTube.
How much is that again? How much?
$16.
$16.
Yeah.
And you were all right from the start, from when you walked in till you left. Okay. From when you walked in until you left, less than 5 minutes?
No, because the pictures had to process. It was about 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Elk Grove?
Elk Grove.
Okay.
Yeah.
Near where Buck Martinez played baseball?
Buck Martinez probably would not recognize Elk Grove.
No, he would not.
If
if he's not been back for a while, he would not.
He
That's
would
correct.
not. No, but I loved his story about the South Sac guys versus the North Sac guys.
Great story.
You know the best part? They played a double header.
Yes.
They didn't have to do that. They wanted to.
They would have played a triple header if they had more daylight.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to love going to tri-night double headers at Yankee Stadium. They were great. They would start at 5:30. All right, the first game it just goes to show you how quick baseball was played back then. First game would be at 5:30, tri-night doubleheader. They were on the schedule every year. Used to go to those, and here's a story for you. You want to talk about a travel story? I'm at a tri-night doubleheader with my father and my brother and my aunt, who worked for Newsweek magazine in Tokyo. We picked her up at Kennedy Airport. She had just flown in from Tokyo. Now, understand that in this era, you didn't get on a plane in Tokyo and fly nonstop to New York. All right? You would have to stop at Wake Island. You would stop in Hawaii. You would stop on the west. It was literally like a train with, 4 or 5 stops, except for it was an airplane switching planes. So we picked my aunt up at Kennedy Airport, okay? and we go right to Yankee Stadium for a twilight doubleheader. Okay, you can't make this up.
Of course you did.
Okay, right. And this gets better. The first game went 19 innings. All right.
Oh my gosh.
And the second game's going on. It's now past midnight. All right. And my aunt is sitting there passed out in the upper deck at Yankee Stadium at the twilight doubleheader. And my dad's like, we got to go. I'm like, no, we're not. I know I'm a little kid. I'm like, no, come on. We got to stay to the end of the game. And we ended up leaving. It was the only time, and I really mean this, and I'm not exaggerating. It's the only time in my childhood that we ever left a game early. We had never left a game early, whether it was baseball, basketball, hockey, football, never. My dad always stayed until the end, but we left that second game early, but it was well past midnight. How about that? I'll never forget that. I'll never forget my aunt. I mean, again, back then to fly from Tokyo to New York was not like it is today, okay? You can fly from Tokyo to New York now in roughly, 14 hours.
Straight into a plastic seat at Yankee Stadium off of the airplanes. Come on.
Hey, I'm not kidding you. I'll never forget that. Yeah.
So did you get double concessions since it was a double header and a longer game? Okay, good.
Yes, absolutely. But I'll never forget, we were on the upper deck on the left field at, this was the big Yankee Stadium, 80+ thousand. The beams in the upper deck and the lower deck. You didn't want to have obstructed seats. There was only probably 10,000 people at the game, but it was great.
There's only been 2 Yankee Stadiums, correct? Or am I wrong?
No. Well, it depends on how you define Yankee Stadiums. There was the original Yankee Stadium that was then redone. And speaking of that, Buck Martinez was involved in the game in the first game, the first year at the new Yankee Stadium in 1976. So you went from the old Yankee Stadium to the new Yankee Stadium. Same structure, same footprint in terms of in the same location, 161st Street and River Avenue in the Bronx. And then, because the Yankees played at Shea Stadium for a couple of years while they were doing all of that, then the current Yankee Stadium I was at the last game. I don't know if I told you this story. So I was in New York for the NBA broadcast meetings, and I went to the Giants-Cincinnati Bengals game on a Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock at Giant Stadium. The Yankees were playing that night, at 8 o'clock. It was the last regular season game ever at Yankee Stadium. And so I left Giant Stadium after the game was over, went outside Yankee Stadium and scalped a ticket for $200. Before I did that, I was observing a lot of people buying counterfeit tickets. And I was like, so when someone came up to me and said, be careful, we just got scammed. And they said, do not spend money for a ticket until you walk up to the turnstile and it is scanned and you're allowed in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, thank you so much for that. So I found a ticket for $200, upper deck. Now, again, you got to understand, this is the last regular season game ever at Yankee Stadium. It's a big deal.
Huge.
So I walk up with the guy. I've got $200 in my hand. As soon as the ticket is scanned, I hand him the $200. I go sit in the upper deck, good seats, along the first base line, closer to first base than the foul pole. So I was like probably a little bit beyond first base in the upper deck, all right, on that line. The guy next to me, all right, had just gotten off an airplane from Hong Kong. He was from the UK, but was working in Hong Kong. He made the trip that weekend, that day,
cutting it
for the
close.
Only purpose of going to Yankee Stadium, and he said he was flying back to Hong Kong the next day. He got on a plane, flew all the way from Hong Kong to JFK, bought a ticket like I did. He said, I have to see Yankee Stadium. It's been a dream of mine. Ever since I've been a little kid, I had to be at Yankee Stadium. And he flew in and was leaving the next day to fly back to Hong Kong. How about that?
How about the back end of that story? He took something with him, right?
Well, we all took something with us. I took the seat in front of me, the hard blue plastic seat, had kind of a tear in it, and I ripped part of the seat that I still have in a plastic baggie, and I still have the ticket from that game in a plastic bag. So I have still part of that seat from Yankee Stadium. But that Sunday night game, being there, was unbelievable for me because I had experienced so many memories in that stadium, both the old stadium and the refurbished stadium. I grew up in that stadium. So for me to be there was unbelievably special for me. It was one of the favorite things I've ever done, was to get a ticket to go to that game that night. It just all worked out that I was in New York and was able to get a ticket and experience that. It was incredible.
There's a lot of people listening that can probably relate to that went to the last game at Arco, that
yes.
grew up in that building, played in that building.
Yes.
You know?
I think that's spot on. I'll never forget the last game at Arco and walking out of there with my kids and how special that was. And knowing that I would never be back in there for another basketball game. And I don't mean to put myself ahead of anyone else, but I announced the first ever game in that building. And I announced the last game in that building. And I stood in an open air arena with Greg Lukenbill, who built that arena, who had moved the team from Kansas City. And I remember standing in the middle of a giant structure that had not yet had the roof on, with our hard hats, with tractors moving around everywhere, and Greg Lukenbill taking me on a tour of where the locker rooms would be and where this would be and where that would be. And I'll never forget standing there. And what was incredible to me as we were standing there, I didn't know I would be doing the Kings games. I had not yet been given the job. We had not yet at Channel 31 won the rights to do the game. So I was standing there in fascination of, wow, how great is this for Sacramento? I wasn't standing there like, wow, I can't believe I'm going to be announcing games in this building. That didn't even enter my mind. You know, it may have entered my mind because it was a dream of mine, but it wasn't like going to happen in 6 months or 12 months. So I'll never forget that, but I'll never forget the first game that I announced with a tuxedo with Ted Green, and announcing the last game, which was very emotional as well, and everything that went in between that. So yes, a lot of people in this area can relate to the end of a really incredible era for Sacramento sports, because not only were we talking basketball, we were talking about some of the great fights with Tony Lopez and Loretta Garza. We were talking about a WNBA championship. We were talking about phenomenal concerts, U2, Billy Joel, Elton John, Whitney Houston. I was at all of them. We were talking about an era from 1988 until the last event. And now when you drive by, there is no more Arco Arenas. You know, it's been torn down. But yes, for the people in this area that were at that last game, the last Kings game at Arco, I'm sure you'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget the history of that building and being a part of that building. It was very, very special, Rhino. I'm glad you brought that up. Very special. Very special. Am I will also say this, Ryan. I think that regardless of where you are around the country, when a venue like the old Chicago Stadium closes and gets torn down for a new building, or in my case in New York, Giant Stadium, where I watched the Giants win their NFC championship against Washington in January of 1987, which was one of the biggest thrills of my life. And it's sad when you see those buildings get torn down. It's sad. It really is.
Yeah. So many, though. Great memories from that place. I was at the game when it was the first game of Vivek's ownership, when the Kings were back and staying. That was quite the night. That if I had to put a list of the top 3 moments for me at Arco, that was one of them.
I'm so caught up in telling stories. I don't even know are we due for a break, or did I already take the break?
Break time.
All right. So that's how, like, into this show, I'm not even paying attention to what time it is or when we do breaks, because I love telling stories. And if you can relate to being at Arco, as Ryan brought that up for the last game, I would love to know what your feelings are at 916-779-0929. Don't forget Joe Davidson after Grant's Rant in about 20 minutes right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Did you hate your heating bill this winter? Fix it with 10-10-20 from Sierra Pacific. 10 years parts and labor warranty, 10 years to pay, and 20% off a new Sierra Pacific comfort system. Plus, this system will get SMUD customers a $3,000 rebate. Lock in the best price of the year on the best option for heating and cooling your home. 10-10-20, only from Sierra Pacific.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabrud Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabrud's now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabrud's. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabrud's, locally owned for more than 30 years. Gubrud's.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's. Gubrud's. Gabrud's.com.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
We all want to look and feel our best. Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center invites you to live your best life every day. There are simple, practical, and inexpensive changes that you can make in your life today that will elevate your life in so many incredible ways. If it feels like it's time to hit that reset button and start living your best life now, Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center invites you to schedule a free healthy aging consultation with Dr. Dennis Godby, an accomplished author and expert in the art of aging gracefully. As we age, things change. We might start to experience lower energy, changes in mood, brain fog, or just a lack of motivation. And for guys, the onset of middle age can mean a lower libido and oftentimes ED. These things can usually be safely and easily treated. Visit gettingbetternow.com today and schedule your free healthy aging consultation with Sacramento Naturopathic Medical Center, located in Midtown.
Out here in the middle of all these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on earth. And sometimes that's how it feels when you're going through tough times. Trouble sleeping, your mind racing. So what do? We get help. There are people in our community who are here for us. Sometimes just talking to someone can make
story in the past, and the noise, because there were so many people on the ring. And I remember getting home and there was a message on my answering machine from my dad, because he was watching it. It was live on CBS with, I think it was Tim Ryan and Gil Clancy on the call. And he goes, man, I can't believe it. We actually saw you go underneath the ring on TV. And I'm like, yeah, I had to protect myself. I didn't want to get hit in the head with like the equivalent of a rock. So yeah, I was, because I was sitting, I had my arms on the ring. I was sitting right that close to the ring.
You had
that was incredible.
wait. You had your arms on the ring?
I had my arms on the canvas. Yes, that's how close I was. The seats I had for those fights, the Tony Lopez, Rocky Lockridge fight, I would get beads of sweat on me and blood because I was in the first row, and literally I could put my arms like this on the ring. You know,
that's insane.
Yeah, right in front of me.
They had no. But what if you fall out of the ring as a boxer? You going?
Well, it would have fallen on top of me. It would have been
Yeah.
on. I would have had a sweaty, bloody boxer on me.
You know, that would never happen in WWE. There's some padding that's around the ring in case you get thrown out. Some distance between the crowd and the ring, but that'd be cool. But
it was, well, to this day, I would say that the two greatest events that I ever experienced at that building, Game 3 that I've talked about a lot, including with Olden Polonies, King Sonic's 1996 playoffs, and the Tony Lopez Rocky Lockridge fight, where Tony won his first world championship, which was Ring Magazine's Fight of the Year. That was the most electric, incredible atmosphere that I ever remember in the entire history of that building. Okay? Like, that was unbelievable. It really was. 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. You know, back then, the fights were either on NBC, Marv Albert, the Fight Doctor, Ferdy Pacheco, and CBS with Tim Ryan and Gil Clancy. And I would just tell you that the boxing cards, when you had Tony Lopez and Loretto Garza, they were unbelievable. The atmosphere was incredible. I mean, incredible.
I can imagine. I was not there for any of the Uriah Faber fights in Sacramento, but I remember just the building being nuts. It was like a King's home game.
I told you, we used to go, you always talk about the food at the Skyline Lounge, right? On the 5th floor.
Absolutely.
And to this day, I'll never forget, we used to have once a month during the basketball season, a luncheon with the head coach. And when Bill Russell was the head coach of the Sacramento Kings, somebody asked him a question about Boston. And whenever you asked Bill a question, he would very often pause 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And Bill did that. And he said, and I am quoting, "I'd rather be in jail in Sacramento than be the mayor of Boston." That's how he answered the question. I'll never forget it. And I was thinking, and I have thought about this often, could you imagine if a comment was made like that in this era of social media?
No. Unless it came from somebody that lived why Bill would rather be in jail than in Boston. I think that would be the only way.
I'll never forget that. I'd rather be in jail in Sacramento than be the mayor of Boston.
Crazy.
Incredible. Let's get to Lynn. Lynn, welcome to the program.
Hey, Grant. Just want to get another call for the weekend. Got a quick question. For the airline called WestJet.
Yes.
Okay.
What about it?
Is it a pretty good one, or do you know?
I've never been on it. I can't say. I don't know. Yeah.
I'll let you know because I'm using it to fly to Iceland in August.
Okay.
I was just curious if you ever heard of it. Okay. And I got solved my little dilemma I was calling Ryan about. So I figured out what I'm going to do. So I was planning to go to the Long Beach Grand Prix. My wife already took the times off. Can't do it for family reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to send her back to DC to go see our son. And that's the opening weekend of the NBA playoffs. So I'll be able to watch the Spurs there. And my favorite racing, IndyCar racing, is basically they have Long Beach that weekend, and they basically run no Sundays until the Indy 500. So I have a whole month of watching Spurs basketball.
Perfect. There you go. Assuming that they play the whole
resolved.
month. Assuming they play the whole month.
That's
There's no
playoffs, so
guarantee.
hopefully we'll see. No guarantee. No guarantee. But the funny part.
You
about
saw
the
the
story was
F1. You saw the F1 has called off the races in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia next month, right?
Yes, I did. Saw
Yeah.
that. And did
Yeah.
you watch any of the F1 from Australia?
Yeah, I watched the whole race. Absolutely. And there's a lot of complaints going on about the battery pack and the way they're running the cars. And Max Verstappen is leading the criticism, and he's got a lot of supporters. A lot of the drivers are extremely upset with the new rules this year in 2026.
So what do you think of it?
I think it's garbage. You already have the Formula E. We don't need that with F1. I think it's ridiculous.
I saw some highlights of it, and the passing was just so artificial. It was so funny.
It's terrible.
It sounds like they were running out of battery and they couldn't go anymore.
It's terrible.
This weekend, I don't know if you've seen IndyCar. They are actually racing at Jerry'sville this weekend.
Oh,
They're
I
racing
didn't see
around
that.
the AT&T Center,
Okay.
around Texas Ranger Stadium. It's got like almost a 3-mile course.
Okay.
That's where IndyCar is. It's supposed to be a pretty big one.
Okay,
Grant,
cool.
have yourself a good one, and thank you for the
bud.
information on the WestJet. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yep, I've not been on WestJet, so I can't help you out there. I can help you out, though, with Village Financial Group and Spencer Grimmenstein with your real estate needs, buying a home in 2026, selling a home equity line of credit. You want somebody that is really good at what they do, experienced, right? 30 years in the mortgage brokerage industry. He is a financing specialist. Talking about Spencer with Village Financial Group. He has access to private money. He will do a phenomenal job for you. It's kind of like a white glove service, a boutique shop. Take you from the start line to the finish line. Call or text Spence now at 916-805-4868. That's 916-805-4868. Don't forget, you can go on their website and get all the information at vfgloans.com. That's vfgloans.com. Thousands of properties available for purchase. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Don't forget, Grant's Rant, Joe Davidson, big event this weekend going on currently right now as we speak in Sacramento, the California Boys and Girls State High School Basketball Playoffs. So we'll talk with Joe. Folsom is playing tonight. What an athletic program they have there, huh? Look at what football did. Look at what basketball is doing. They do it right at Folsom High School. We wish them the best of luck. The Folsom Bulldogs are playing a little bit later. Team USA getting ready to play Canada in the World Baseball Classic, Rhino. So you can follow the Americans going against Canada. Not hockey, but it's baseball.
Speaking of the Americans in the baseball game, I'm going to do a prize picks on the baseball game.
Oh.
So if you would like my lineup, here's what I'm doing.
Whoa.
I am going to go Aaron Judge more than one home run.
More than one?
Or excuse me,
if
more.
It's one home run.
One home
that
run.
does-
One home run.
Oh,
So,
I was going to say, I'd be. Okay.
Well, it's hard to say half of a home run, right?
Yeah, it is.
So I'm going to go Aaron Judge needs to hit a home run.
Okay.
I'm going to go Cal Raleigh more than half of a home run.
Like, what does that mean?
It means
That
he
means
has
if
to
he
hit a
hits
home
one
run.
home run too.
Yeah, they
Okay.
both need to hit
Okay.
one home run. And then I'm going to go with Edward Julian for
Yeah,
Canada.
Julian. Yep.
He needs to have more than half a hit, run, or RBI.
Okay.
So there's your three-way right there.
Wow. So, but that's saying a lot. Both Raleigh and Judge going long distance.
Yeah, I feel it. They're going to be juiced tonight, and I think it's going to. I'm just going to say I've had good luck with home runs. I feel it tonight. I only play them when I get the feeling. So there's your prize pick. Go
Good
download
for you,
the
buddy.
app. Yes.
You know what? Good for you. Good for you that you're, getting out of your basketball element where you've been just absolutely destroying it. So we'll see if you can carry it over to the diamond.
let's see if we can do
put
it.
some diamonds in your bank account.
Oh my gosh, that would be nice.
Yeah, well, you got to make sure that they're cut well and they've got good clarity, good color. You know, these are important things when it comes to diamonds.
It's a very good point.
It's what I'm here for.
Do you like a certain cut?
I like the oval. You know, I'm not into the princess cut. I like the round.
I'm with
you.
It
has more. If it's the right cut with the right table and the right color, it pops.
Yeah.
So yes.
Good job
Did
by
you. See my diamond? Oh no, I don't have them. That's right. I don't have any diamond studs. All right, I do have Joe Davidson coming up after Grant's rant, though. I don't know about Joe. I don't know if he's got the diamond studs. I'm not going to ask him. I've asked Joe a lot of questions in the past. I'm not going there. I am going to talk to him about the girls and boys state championships going on. KSAC State basketball next right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Downtown Ford Sacramento welcomes you. With literally acres of new and Ford-certified pre-owned vehicles on site, you can start planning a road trip up into the snow now because Downtown Ford has the vehicles to get you there. And our top-notch service team will keep it running perfectly as long as you own it. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and fleet vehicles. Downtown Ford Sacramento. Open daily on Howe Avenue next to the How About Arden Shopping Center.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When was the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
And this is Above the Noise. Last night, Bam Adebayo delivered a performance no one saw coming. The Heat big man erupted for 83 against the Wizards, surpassing the iconic 81-point night from Kobe Bryant. Adebayo shot 20 of 43 from the floor, made 7 threes, and made 36 free throws. The last part is what has fueled debate today. That's a lot of trips to the line. But free throws are not accidents. They come from forcing defenders into bad positions and the offensive player being talented enough to make them pay. Getting to the line that often still requires dominance. Was Coach Eric Spoelstra's strategy to give Bam extra possessions by fouling in the final minutes? Yes, but context fades over time. 20 years from now, nobody's going to be counting the points from the charity stripe or Miami's late game strategy. They'll see that number 83 and remember the historic night by one of the league's more underrated stars. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Prostate exam. Relax. Screening starts with a simple finger-free blood test. Around 1 in 8 men in the United States will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. Prostate cancer can have over a 99% 5-year relative survival rate when caught at a localized or regional stage. If you're 40 or over and have a prostate, visit relaxitsabloodtest.com to see if a PSA blood test is right for you. Talk to your doctor about screening and the next steps. Sponsored by Novartis. Tires matter. They're the only part of your vehicle that touches the road. Tread confidently with new tires from Tire Rack. Whether you're looking for expert recommendations or know exactly what you want, Tire Rack makes it really easy. Fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, convenient installation options, and the best selection of General tires. Go to TireRack.com/Dan to see their General tires, test results, tire ratings, and reviews, and be sure to check out all the special offers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Grant's back. Join the conversation every weekday afternoon beginning at 3 p.m. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
It's time for Grant.
All right, what do you have for me, Rhino?
Grant, I'm not sure if you saw this, but he was a Jacksonville Jaguar. He is now a New Orleans Saint. Travis Etienne, or
Yes.
should I say Achan,
I know.
came to the podium and said that everybody has been pronouncing his last name wrong. So is that on him or is that on the media? That's your
Well, why is he taking so long? How long has he been in the league? Yeah, now all of a sudden you're going to let people know that he's pronouncing his name wrong? Really? How come you didn't tell us that when you were a rookie?
It was very, very odd. Your second choice, Grant, is the Big 12 has decided to pull the LED court at the Big 12 tournament. Not sure if you saw it. Very similar court to what the NBA did in Indianapolis for the All-Star game a couple of years ago. They're going back to hardwood. That court should have never been on there in the first place. And last but not least, Grant, I think you and I are in the same boat that we're not huge fans of shopping. So why do you think we would be huge fans of returning the things that you didn't like when you went shopping?
Return items? No. Is that what you're asking me? Would I go back to the store to return items that I didn't like that I was given as gifts? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm saying, you and I don't like shopping, right?
No, I don't like shopping. Who likes shopping?
You know what? I'll sleep on the couch tonight. I had to go shopping with my wife, which I was not. It was fine, but an hour in the same store on Valentine's Day, and now I'm doing the return. You got to do that yourself, Napes.
Yeah, you know what? I can't go there. I don't do that. That's not part of my vocabulary. That's not part of my life. Like, I have my limitations. I got a game I have to watch. All right, I have to work. All right, there's games on. I can't be going to the store because I have to watch sports, right? And the excuse is you can watch it on your phone. I can't watch it on my phone when I'm driving, all right? So that's not going to work. So, no, I'm not going to the store. I'm not returning the item. That's not my deal. I don't care. I'm not going to the store. So don't ask me. You know I'm not going to the store. Don't even broach the subject because I'm not going. As far as, Travis Etienne or whatever hell his name is, too late, okay? It's too late. You can't play for a couple of years and then tell everyone that they're mispronouncing your name. That should have been done right away in your rookie year, okay? Don't be coming up to me a couple of years later and now all of a sudden telling me that we're mispronouncing your name. No. Your name is Travis Etienne. That's what we're calling you. Doesn't really matter what your name is. Doesn't really matter how it's supposed to be pronounced. You can't change that years after you've been in the league. Ryan, I don't have the information in front of me, and as we get ready to have Joe Davidson on here, and while we do have Joe on, maybe you can let me know how many years he's been in the league, okay? It was the same thing when he played in college, all right? All right? He was a big-time college player, big-time in a big-time program, okay? Why would you not let people know then that your name is being mispronounced? Now we got to wait until 2026? Really? How come it didn't bother you when you were running for 150 yards every game in college and you were the talk of college football? How come it didn't bother you then? How come it didn't bother you when you were drafted, right? When you were a high draft pick? How come that didn't bother you then? Now all of a sudden in 2026, you got to tell us that they're mispronouncing your name? No, I'm sorry. That's your name. That's what we're calling you. Too bad. Now, if you want to go to court and you want to go to the courthouse and you want to legally change your name, then that's different. I'll call you by what your legal name is, unless you're Ron Artest. I'm never going to call Ron Meta World Peace. He knows that. I've told him to his face, and I've actually interviewed Ron when his name was, quote, unquote, Meta World Peace, and I said, welcome to the show, Ron. I'm not calling Ron Artest Meta World Peace. I don't care whether he's got a certificate from the court saying that's his real name. To me, he's Ron. He'll always be Ron. And if I were to interview him this afternoon, I would welcome him as Ron Artest, not Meta World Peace. So as far as Mr. Etienne, that's your name. Too late. You've had years to alert us that the name is incorrect. So your name is Etienne, and that's what I'm calling you, and that's my rant for today. Now, you could solve all of this, okay, by having a very simple name like Joe Davidson, because it's impossible to mispronounce Joe. I have never heard anyone mispronounce the name Joe, and Davidson is equally as easy as Joe. Oh, that would be my guess, Joe Davidson. How are you, buddy?
Oh, that's great stuff. Hey, I remember when Ron Artest, Ron, whatever the heck,
yes,
the battling one, when he was with the Kings, and I was covering a lot of the Kings then, and you had to listen to what he had to say after practice, because right away he'd say, "Oh, we have a shot to get to the NBA Finals. We could do a lot of good things." Okay, and then literally a half hour later, you circle back around. We got to be the worst team in the playoffs. So if he's confused about that, I'm not surprised he's confused about his name all these years later. But he would change his mind every day.
Yeah,
depending
I know.
on his mood.
Bless his heart. I love the man. Joe Davidson of the Sacramento Bee. Joe, I got to tell you, this is such a great event for Sacramento annually, and it's one that I've never been to because the Kings were always on the road every time that the state championship, the playoffs were going on for both the boys and the girls. And here we are in 2026, and I was just reminiscing about some of the great names in the sport of basketball that we had the pleasure of watching in this city. It's great, right? I mean, I think you had something on Twitter the other day about Bill Cartwright 50 years later, and we got Jason Kidd and so many others. It's great history, isn't it?
It really is. In fact, Bill Cartwright is probably the greatest high school basketball player in this greater region. And he was the nation's number one pick, nation's number one high school recruit 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA was looking at him. I remember doing stories where I talked to Pat Williams he was the general manager of the Philadelphia 76ers, and he said, we went out there and looked at him, and we thought about drafting him. Instead, they took this kid who threw tires in Orlando in a junkyard to get strong. That was Darryl Dawkins. That was an era where you might consider drafting big men. But the point being, though, Grant, he was so great. Bill Cartwright is a 7-foot center, national number one recruit with an Elk Grove team that was 30-0, Elk Grove High School, and they were this is before the state basketball tournament. And so in 1974, 1975, the Elk Grove Thundering Herd was invited to the Tournament of Champions. It was the elite state tournament of sorts, unofficial, at the Oakland Coliseum. And they were so good that the state officials said, we're going to have to introduce a state tournament. It took that long. And so it didn't get introduced until 1981. California does a lot of good things in education and in sports. The governing bodies do a good thing. But the state football championships didn't start until 2006. It takes time. So now it's here. And for all the grief, a lot of it earned for the Maloof ownership group of the Kings, they always open their door at Arco Arena. And so did Jim Thomas before that. And Luke and Bill before that. Use Arco Arena as a high school championship site. And so it's a great partnership. It continues here with Vivek, who deserves all the heat he gets. But this is a nice gesture. And, you've been down to Doco, and kids have a good time bouncing around. And here's the other thing, Grant. If you want to see, it's almost a mini rant here. If you want to see quality basketball on this venue at Golden One, and you're fed up with the Kings throwing the ball all over the place and they're, whatever what they're trying to do, the high school kids, they play hard, they share the ball, they're fundamentally sound. It's a real treat.
Play hurt.
They play hurt, they play inspired, and they appreciate every bit of it. They don't have a team leader lecturing the media or any that nonsense. But that's a big reason, Grant. You and I've talked about it. Where I stay local, I'm refreshed by this level of play, and it has excited. So great venue, and it's going to be here year after year. And most states don't offer this. I mean, this is just a plum deal to have an NBA venue.
It's great.
Not only for the Sac Joaquin section championships, 2 weeks later this weekend, the state championships.
Now, you mentioned Pat Williams. If he wrote a book after his visit to Sacramento, every time I saw Pat Williams, when he was the general manager of the Orlando Magic, he would come up to me and go, Grant, can I come on your show? I've got a new book out. He probably wrote over 30. I'm not kidding you. Every year I would be around Pat Williams and go, hey, I've got a book coming out. Can I get on your show to promote it? I've never seen anybody write as many books.
And he could speak. He was great. He was so available for media in the off seasons or doing stories like, hey, did you guys consider drafting Bill Cartwright, years ago when you were at the 76ers?
Right.
He also adopted some 30 or 40 kids or foster programs. Just a great humanitarian. So kudos to him. May he rest in peace. Good people.
Amen to that. Amen. Joe Davidson of the Sacramento Bee. Joe, we talk about Folsom, and we normally go to their football program, but here they are playing tonight in Sacramento, and their basketball team's pretty freaking good as well.
Oh, they have a great coach. It really starts at the high school. In high school sports, when you have a great coach, you can do great things. And Mike Wall is their coach, and he's been the head coach for Folsom since 2000. A big-time champion. He's going to probably win his 600th game next season. He has a team that basketball purists from way back would appreciate, a Jerry Reynolds would appreciate, a Pete Carrill would appreciate, you would appreciate, I appreciate. But they don't. You can be fundamentally sound, Grant, and still be entertaining. And so what these guys do, they have 5 starters who can handle the ball. So they're hard to pressure and defend. They are experts of moving without the ball, and you keep doing that, setting screens, and somebody's going to be wide open backdoor. That matters. And they are all programmed to run the break, and they have guys who could shoot threes. Great coach, great team. And it's also proof you don't have to have McDonald's All-Americans and All-State players. One of their best players is Jovan DeLay, a 6'6" wing who's signed with Idaho State. Somebody might say, Idaho State, hey, it's hard to get a Division I scholarship in basketball.
Yes, it is.
He's one of them. Not everybody has a Ryan Anderson who played in the NBA, played for Oak Ridge just over 20 years ago, and for Eldorado Hills, Oak Ridge of Eldorado Hills. So super impressive team. They're playing for the Division I state championship tonight here at Golden One. And they're taking on Damien High School of Laverne of Los Angeles County. And speaking of great coaches, they have a coach there, Mike DeLuke, who's been coaching since 1979, Grant. He's got 1,100 wins or so, and they do it the right way. So I'm always impressed with great coaches who stick around and do it the right way. This is basketball played the right way. And Mike Wall, the Folsom coach, says it's a, quote, beautiful brand of basketball, and he's right.
And forgive me for not knowing the name, but did you not just have a recent story on one of the girls in our area that is maybe as good as we've seen playing this weekend in Sacramento?
Oh, yeah. Tomorrow morning. She's a great story. This is what makes high school sports fun. There's a girl named Lauren Harris, 5'11" shooter, who's the national all-time record holder in made three-pointers for Faith Christian High School in Yuba City. It's such a small school, they don't even have football. 52 students. And she's the student body president, and she is third on the California all-time career scoring list, more than Lisa Leslie, more than Cheryl Miller, just some of those greats. So here's this tiny school. Do they have any business being here? Yes, they're 33-1.
Wow.
And they are playing for the state Division IV championship tomorrow morning, and this girl's worth a watch. And the nicest kid, plays hard, comes off screens, funnily sound. Her dad, Jeff Harris, is the coach. He was an alum of the school. He played for a section championship years ago at Arco Arena and didn't win, but he says he remembers getting a bloodied nose. And I still get my old jersey with the blood on it. But so the small schools and the small school players, Grant, they care just as much as the large schools, just as much as Folsom. They just have fewer kids. So if they bring the whole school out tomorrow, there'll be 52 kids.
Yeah, you know what? I love it. I remember Danielle Viglione, right, when she was in high school, and how great it was to follow her career.
I just ran into her. She's here at Golden One, and she played in the early 90s, 1991, 92, for Del Campo High School in Fair Oaks, State Player of the Year. And Lauren Harris, I got a hold of Danielle Biglione and asked her about this small school player, and she applauds all of them. And there's also this, Grant. If you're a player, you'll get a scholarship. If you have good grades, you have good skills. She has a tremendous skill set as a shooter, moves without the ball, handles the ball either hand. And so any notion that you have to play at some state-ranked powerhouse to get a scholarship is completely bogus. If you're a great player.
You're right. You're 100% correct. It is bogus. You're absolutely correct. If you're really good, they're going to find you.
For any sport.
Yes.
That's exactly right. And when people say, well, the recruiters from UCLA or Sac State or anywhere, Bowling Green, I'm going to throw your school in there. They want to see strength of schedule and national recruit. No, they don't. The recruiters have no time for that. They want to see a video clip. They want to see somebody pop, whether you're a drive blocking tackle in football, or if you're a Allen Iverson type coast baseline to baseline dribbler, or a great shooter like a Viglione who went to Texas and played professionally, or Lauren Harris. And then there's another cool story. This morning, the first game out here, the Division V state championship, was Woodland Christian of Yolo County repeated as state champions.
That's great.
Tiny little school, and the coach Shiloh Sobello is a district attorney in Yolo County. His side gig is coaching girls basketball, including two of his daughters, and he said they tolerate me and they laugh about it. But this is when you play in a venue like this and you win a championship at any level, they'll remember it forever.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Joe Davidson of the Sacramento Bee, please do me a favor. If you do run into Danielle this weekend, would you please give her my best? Seriously, one of my favorites. I just loved her career and following her, and please tell her I said hello.
I sure will. Class
Yes.
act person. I always tease. I said, looks like you could still drink a little bit of water and get out there, stretch, and put up 30 shots. Let's go. So
yeah, that's great.
She's a giver in basketball where she does a lot of shooting clinics and strength and conditioning. She's continuing to feed the game and help it grow. And I mean, Grant, girls basketball's come light years. And we see it with the Caitlin Clark influence. And we have March Madness, the Sweet 16 Elite 8 will be here March 27th through 30. I'll be covering that here at Golden One. A lot of people frown on girls basketball, women's basketball. Well, shut up, stretch, get out there and see if you could hang. And most people can't. So it's to be appreciated. And I applaud you for applauding people like Viglione.
Yeah, Danielle Viglione to me was a name that I'll never forget in terms of the way she played, the way she competed. And here's what really struck me about her. The way she and her family always conducted themselves. I was just such huge fans because she was a big-time star, but she didn't let it get to her head, right? She was a very down-to-earth athlete, and so was her family, and she was going on the big things. And that always struck me, Joe, as just a very simple, down-to-earth star athlete.
Same girl then as she is now. She goes and sets three-point shooting records at the University of Texas, plays a little bit in the WNBA, including with the Martinez, plays overseas. To this day, she thanks me and says, well, you're a big credit for my success. No, Danielle, I appreciate that. We just chronicled it. We just covered the stories. We just did the stories. And,
great stuff.
Al Biancani, the former Kings strength coach, now working with Mike Bibby at Sac State, said that she had an incredible work ethic. And Al will run you into the ground, and he said she always answered the bell.
Yeah, you were talking about Sac State and Mike Bibby's first year. Home, really fun. Standing room only. On the road, a different story. And we know that college basketball does not happen overnight. That it takes a few years to really build a program. How should we evaluate the first year of Sac State basketball under Mike Bibby? How do you evaluate it?
Tough task for what he had. 15 new players, none of them teammates. Whole new coaching staff, new general manager, and Shaquille O'Neal, his one-time nemesis in the NBA. I thought he did an excellent job of teaching the game. What do you mean? How can these college kids on scholarships not know the game? Well, they're still learning how to screen away and moving out the ball. I went to a number of his practices, Grant, went to all of his home games. And he's constantly harping on that all game long. You got to move here. You got to set the screen here. And so that's encouraging there. They got hurt with the loss of the two best players with injuries. They were down to 7 or 8 players down the last 10 games of the season. Good at home, 10 wins, 3 losses, overflow crowds at their nice, sparkling little venue called the Pavilion. 0-17 away from home. Not good enough. Not good enough. He was terribly disappointed. As you know, Grant, Mike Bibby is a renowned competitor. Hates to lose a possession. Hates to miss a free throw. He is doing exactly what he used to do. He's coaching the way. Mike Bibby wasn't the most outrageous athlete, but man, did he study his craft. Did he work on his shot? He was in the weight room all the time. That's what he employs to his guys. So his skill set was shooting, ball handling, reading the floor, fundamentals. I think their upside is really good. They're done with the Big Sky Conference. They're going to move into the Big West, which is predominant California with Fullerton, Long Beach, Santa Barbara, Cal Poly. So there's recognition there. I think he'll be able to recruit Southern California because Southern California, Grant, is so vast in sheer number of schools and athletes. I think he'll get players, and I think their upside is going to be there. He needs more size. They were just really small up front because of injuries, and so guys were playing out of position. These scholarships are a treasured deal. You could also get guys through the transfer portal. The transfer portal is great for a quick fix if you're bringing in a bunch of seniors.
Sure.
Ideally, in high school football and basketball, or in college football and college basketball, you want incoming freshmen so you could have them for 3 or 4 or 5 years. That's what Jim Les has done really well with at UC Davis men's basketball. So I think he's going to stick around, and Shaq's going to stick around. Shaq's son, Shaquille O'Neal, was Bibby's first signing. He was a senior. Shaq only came out once this season during the season. And typical Shaq, he was at the end of you couldn't hardly see him, which is hard to do when you're that enormous. But he didn't want it to be about him. He wanted it to be about the seniors. So I would give Mike Bibby a C. An F on the road. He knows that. Kind of, they would compete against some of those teams, but I thought, Grant, we have to also remember in perspective here. Sac State moved up to Division I in men's basketball in 1991. They have had 2 winning seasons since, and those were both under Brian Katz's longtime coach. So it's going to take some time, but they finally have an arena that matches their ambition. So upside league and for Mike Bibby. I was telling Rhino earlier this week, I was initially leery of the Mike Bibby hire. And I'm thinking, come on, did he get hired because he's a Kings legend? I asked Mark Orr, the athletic director, on a story. He goes, that's the cherry on top. He's earned his shot. He's ready. We like his fundamentals. We like how he can recruit, what he can do. The fact that he was a Kings legend does not hurt. Good enough.
Sure.
And now he has to back it up. He has to back it up. And he's driven. He feels like he owes Sacramento one to make Sacramento State a player in college basketball.
Hey, before I let you go, because you mentioned this kind of tongue-in-cheek at the beginning of this interview, a week ago today, I did an opening 20-minute rant defending the Sacramento media and I'll call it the attack by Russell Westbrook. And I was bothered by it. And as somebody that is really a senior member of the Sacramento sports media, were you bothered by that?
Absolutely. It's complete rubbish. I mean, first of all, Russell Westbrook said, I'm the leader of this team. Well, then as the leader with an enormous bank account, this is part of the job. You have to take the criticism. You're the worst team in the NBA, the worst on offense, the worst on defense. Sometimes the effort isn't there. He always goes 100 miles an hour, but this was a disaster. And I've heard you a lot on the radio over the months, Grant, and you said this is the worst team, all of it. And that's on all of those guys. And if they're not fair for some of that critique, that's ridiculous. His whole stance on, hey, we play the game, we go home to our families. Why can't you guys just cover the game, go home? Because what is the consumer curious about? The fan who always shells out money or time or investment to watch or read or follow or attend games or buy merchandise, what do they want to know? They want to know, why does this team suck so bad? And this is a soft market. It was a soft market when you and I would run into it every day during the Rick Adelman years. It's a smaller market. So Russell Westbrook should know better. This isn't New York, Chicago, even LA, where there's just sheer numbers of media, and some of these questions are more than fair. I was disappointed that Chris Peterman challenged him and said, "Hey, you guys are really struggling. That's fair game."
Sure.
And his target was Matt George, who had the perfect chance to let's talk. But you know what, Grant, this is kind of the culture with the Kings. Vivek has convinced people for years since he got here that the local media is against you, and they will leak out information to national outlets, the New York Times, ESPN, The Athletic, but they won't share it with media who cover them every day in practice, and some of them on the road and things like that. So I thought it was misguided. It's actually laughable. But then you see social media posts, Russell Westbrook owns the media. He didn't own anything. He hasn't owned up that they can be a lot better. So that's my rant on top of your rant.
Well said. My rant was 20 minutes. It was animated. I had a little humor in there because I had a little attack of sneezing on the air, but it played out very well, Joe. A lot of people loved it, and so I was But you know how I'm like you, Joe. I'm going to speak my mind, and I don't have a problem with it. Hey, I do appreciate you. I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy the basketball this weekend, and we will talk to you again soon. You take care.
Well, Grant, don't take this personal because you're a big guy. You can handle this. But the show was better on Monday when it was Rhino and Rhino and I had a great segment. And, I see the show's kind of laughed backwards. Okay, yeah. You're fair for critique. We go way back.
Hey, Joe, I'm speechless. I really can't say anything because you're right. You take care, buddy.
That's exactly right. Hey, thanks, Grant. Always. We'll talk soon.
All right, that's good stuff, Joe Davidson. Speaking of Rhino. He might, own his own station pretty soon with how well he's doing with Prize Picks. Oh, gosh. I could see it, dominating Prize Picks. Dominating. Just dominating. Absolutely dominating. He is on absolute fire.
Yes, I am. But you know who else is dominating? DAS and what they're doing for a veteran.
They are. And I would tell you that I love charitable deeds. Like, I just think that giving back to the community in however you can do it is phenomenal. I was so proud when I was able to do a golf tournament every year to send students to college. How about this? DAS is donating a heating or air conditioning unit to a family in need, a veteran. If you or somebody you know is in the need of a heating or air conditioning unit, go to dasmechanical.org, click on the 2026 HVAC nomination. Okay, just click on that. It's a quick form, and you can nominate yourself or someone else. That's dasmechanical.org. Easy to do. DAS Mechanical, your HVAC service repair experts. They're awesome. Locally owned, serving Sacramento and Placer counties. That's DAS Mechanical. We'll get to your phone calls, your text messages next right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
We are Downtown Ford Sacramento welcomes you. With literally acres of new and Ford certified pre-owned vehicles on site, you can start planning a road trip up into the snow now because Downtown Ford has the vehicles to get you there. And our top-notch service team will keep it running perfectly as long as you own it. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and fleet vehicles. Downtown Ford Sacramento. Open daily on Howe Avenue next to the How About Arden Shopping Center.
Summer is coming. Backyard parties, barbecues, good times with great people. Take your summer to the next level with an outdoor kitchen or fire pit from Custom Fireside. Custom Fireside has the largest inventory of outdoor kitchen options, fire pits, and fireplaces in the Sacramento area. If you missed us at Capitol Beer Fest, no problem. Now through the end of March, visit one of our 2 locations. Mention Beer Fest and you'll still get Beer Fest savings. Custom Fireside, employee owned and operated in Sacramento and Elk Grove.
Call the good dudes at Gebruds, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Homeowners, if you have an electrical project you need done, then you need the good dudes at Gebruds. Family owned and operated for 30 years, Jay Gebrud and his team are the area's recognized experts for everything electrical, from the very basic like repairs, lighting upgrades, and whole house fans to the biggies, panel replacements, EV stations, and backup generators. Gebruds does it all and does it right the first time. They're actually the guys their competition recommends. Gebruds, expert 5-star service and always transparent, honest prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Visit Gebruds.com or call 24/7 and speak with a real live person. Gebruds, G-U-B-R-U-D-S. Call.
And listen, I have a lot of great things to say about Russ, as you do, and he deserves the accolades that he has received, but that was just wrong. It was flat out wrong.
I was so happy to hear Joe's response to that. And that's somebody, as he said, you said, senior member of this media that's been around the team before, now always has done a tremendous job with sports. And the wrong part of it was whether you like how it was handled by the Sacramento media. The member of the media shouldn't have been the one that was getting more attacks than Russell Westbrook. That's what really bugged me. If you want to critique anything, it should start with Russ because he's the one that opened that can of worms.
Yeah, well said. Speaking of the Kings, they are on their way to L.A. They will take on the Clippers tomorrow, and then they come home for 4 games to wrap up the month of March. And then they hit the road, a long road trip, before they return home for the final 2 weeks of the regular season.
Yeah, we're expecting an update on Keegan Murray today from the Kings. Malik Monk returned to practice. Westbrook practiced. Dylan Cardwell.
Oh, you mean they're not sore anymore?
Yes, they're not sore. Dylan Cardwell was a full participant in practice as well. As of the last time that I checked the injury report, the Kings were yet to report, and they now have. So you have Devin Carter, who's going to be out tomorrow night. Malik Monk is questionable. Keegan Murray is out. So there's
I don't think Keegan's coming back this year. I don't see it.
I don't think he's coming back either, personally. But
what about Dylan Cardwell?
He is not on the injury report. So it looks like he's going to be good to go if he was a full participant yesterday.
That's good. I'm happy about that.
Yeah. It's a good game for him to play in, too, against the Clippers with Kawhi.
Any game's a good game for him to play in. He still needs experience,
He does.
especially the offensive part of the game, which I thought was coming along really well before he injured himself.
Yeah, it was coming along great. I mean, as long as you're not judging, if you're judging it by the box score, yeah, he's going to have a couple that are dunks, but his just feel for the offense and not going to spots rather than where, the players are at, all that was improved greatly, and his touch has gotten a little bit better. Anytime you see, Grant, a young guy that has no offensive game trying to get their shot off with a little hook shot or whatnot, that's a big thing for them.
All right, bold prediction of the day. Russell Westbrook will not play any games in April.
Yes. Oh, 100%. Yes. I'm with you. How about you?
Yes. Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Bold prediction of the day. Russell Westbrook will not play another home game for the Kings.
I am going to say he will play a home game for the Kings during the next 4-game stretch, and that will be it.
Okay.
All right, let's go one step further. Bold prediction. Friday, March 13th, 2026. Russell Westbrook will be on the Sacramento Kings next year. Yes or no?
Oh, boy. Not to take your line. I'm going to say no, but it's not a confident no. You?
I'm going to say no. No way. Because the Kings are going to have next year at least one new point guard on their roster, correct? Has to be.
Has to, yes.
I think there's going to be 2. We've already seen Russ, and he's not going to fit in my opinion, with what this team needs to do and the style of play. And I would think, because I think you're going to have a new coach, I think that coach is not going to want Russell Westbrook on the team.
Okay. Bold prediction. If the Kings do not have a new coach, will Russell Westbrook be on the team?
And he probably will, and then you'll have another disastrous season. And whereas I predicted this season to be a disaster before they even played one game, I'm going to sit here on March 13th, 2026, and tell you that if that's the case, next season will once again be a disaster for the Sacramento Kings. You heard it here first.
The reason I asked that question is Doug's still the coach of the team, and he has his responsibilities with the media as well. But when he met with Noah Eagle and the broadcast team for the last Peacock game, he was talking about the focus of this coming off season for the rookies, and he wants them to take in Russell's just fearlessness, his aggressiveness, his never say die, and then take DeMar DeRozan's calmness and just approach, I guess, to a degree, as focus points on how they can grow their games with those two things in mind. And so if you have a new coach, I think that's kind of out the window. But if
I think this is all crap. That's what I think it is. I think it's all window dressing. It's all nonsense.
No,
it's ridiculous.
Grant, I would be with you if those guys weren't playing 38 minutes a night.
Yeah.
You know, that's where I say it's not nonsense. Now, what is nonsense is this idea that Russ never takes plays off. He absolutely does.
I know, on defense.
Yes.
I should have clarified myself on that.
No,
yes.
I wasn't doing it because of you. There's this narrative that I think Doug Christie pushes a lot, you know, that he's that guy. He's going to be the one that sets the example. The cheating on defense at times when he gets off his guy, not getting back, you know, all that shows up on the film. So I hope that's being pointed out in these film sessions that we are not invited to.
There is no way Doug Christie can be the coach of this team moving forward if you want to move in a positive direction. It can't happen. It just can't. And if it does happen, next season will be a repeat of this season.
I think you have to legitimately put on the table, and this is no disrespect to Doug, but you have to put, if you are considering bringing him back, you got to put the rookies, not just the ones that are going to come in after this draft. You have to put this year's rookies on the table and ask yourself the question, could this do permanent damage to them? Because Doug has shown he is going to go to the veterans, whoever they are on this team, and then try to fit those guys in spots. Now, Max has been a little bit more lucky because of the injury to Sabonis, but, you know, Neek wasn't getting constant minutes or minutes we could count on every night until this team was out of contention. And one thing you can't do is hurt the future of this young group. So they're going to be part of the solution, most likely.
Final segment of the week is ahead. Don't forget, if you missed hour number 1, it will be replayed at 6 o'clock. Again, the final segment of the week coming up next right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
There's a unique place in downtown Sacramento on the corner of 16th and V Streets that is special for those who enjoy a fine cigar. It's called Hattaway Cigars. It's that little red place right there at 16th and V Streets. It's spelled Hattuey. The Hattaways are a distinguished family of cigar makers originally from Cuba. And for 3 generations, the Hattaways have produced world-class hand-rolled artisan cigars like the Habana and the Gran Cubano, world-class cigars favored by cigar aficionados from all over the world. Hattaway cigars originate from Cuban seeds, grown in the historic El Cibao Valley in the Dominican Republic, where many of the world's finest cigar tobaccos are grown. Hattaway Cigars' spacious lounge features a walk-in humidor with more than 100 different varieties of hand-rolled cigars. Hattaway Cigars, open daily downtown at 16th and V, online at hattawaycigars.com. Please be at least 21.
It's the All Things Legal Show, heard every Saturday morning from 8 to 9. Join your host, Craig Ashton, with an entertaining and eclectic view of all things legal. Saturday mornings from 8 to 9. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabrud Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabrud's now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabrud's. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabrud's, locally owned for more than 30 years. Gubrud's.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's. Gubrud's. Gabrud's.com.
Downtown Ford Sacramento welcomes you. With literally acres of new and Ford certified pre-owned vehicles on site, you can start planning a road trip up into the snow now because Downtown Ford has the vehicles to get you there. And our top-notch service team will keep it running perfectly as long as you own it. Cars, trucks, SUVs, and fleet vehicles. downtown Fort Sacramento. Open daily on Howe Avenue next to the How About Arden Shopping Center.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
I love the exercise classes at the senior center, and I love eating healthy, but it can be expensive.
Have a good weekend, and we appreciate all the text messages and phone calls at 916-779-0929. Getting some good messages on the chat line today as well.
Yeah, definitely. Paul from the YouTube simulcast chat says, if Doug comes back, everybody will know it's the same old players, and fans will react accordingly. But being he's Vivek, I wouldn't put it past him.
Spot on, Paul. You're 100% correct with everything you just said. Here's where I come down on this. The general manager of the Sacramento Kings is Scott Perry, and he did not hire the coach. He's not stupid, okay? He's been around the block. He understands what needs to happen for this team to change their ways. Now, whether that will happen or not, well, it remains to be seen, but he knows. And he also understands that Doug is not the right coach for the matter at hand. He knows, okay? I'm very confident in saying that. And the reason why I'm confident in saying that is it's common sense. So that's why I think it is more likely than unlikely that there will be a change. And I agree totally with that message by Paul that if Doug comes back, everybody will know it's the same old, same old. Players and fans will react accordingly. You are spot on. Very well said, Paul. And if you want to comment on either the text line or on our simulcast on YouTube, you can do so. The text line 916-779-0929. Again, give us a call. We'll be on for another 15 minutes, and we'll get you ready for the weekend. If you missed the first hour of the show, good news for you. You can listen to it in about 15 minutes. It will be replayed. How about this? How much of a disaster will it be if the Kings fall to the fourth spot before the draft lottery? All it takes is one or two teams to jump them, and they're drafting fifth or sixth. That would be a disaster. You're right.
If they fell to the 4 spot?
Yeah, if they go to 4, that could be a real issue because if you have one or two teams leapfrog you, you could be all the way down at 6.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, you really want to be top 4 in this draft. I think that we could. I'm not saying that you can't get a good player 5, 6, 7, 8, or 15 or 20, but I mean, when you're just trying to project things, top 4 looks like you get a really good player.
100%. You have to be part of that group. And if you're not part of that group, what was this season for?
Yeah, what was it for? Correct. And when you look at the standings that I just read off, it's very interesting how bunched up now these teams are. And I got to project that the Kings are going to lose tomorrow. Okay. I can't see them beating the Clippers. I really can't. The Clippers now are 33-32. They've won 3 in a row. The Kings have 51 losses. There's nobody in the West that they're going to fall behind. They're going to have the worst record in the West. But in the East, Indiana's got 51 losses, and Brooklyn and Washington have 49. And guess who you play twice? You have 2 games still remaining with Brooklyn. Right?
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say I get their record is only 5 losses better than the Kings. But if the Jazz get the first pick, it's going to be a nightmare for the NBA.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
It's going to be a
disagree
nightmare.
with that.
And that's me putting aside my feelings about the Kings.
I'm with you. Washington, to me, is a team that may not win another game. They've lost 10 in a row. So you got to keep your eye on them.
How do you not get on them for tanking? Like, what? I know Trae Young's come back for a game, but like, how do you not get on them? Anthony Davis just shut down.
It's a joke.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying the Kings' hands are completely clean, but that's a team, to the question that you posed or your standard of purity earlier in the show, that if there was going to be a playoff game tomorrow that is a one game that gets you into the NBA Finals, those guys are playing.
Yeah. I'm with you. If you're looking at their schedule, and I'm talking about Washington, they might win at Utah, and they play Brooklyn in Brooklyn on Sunday, April 5th. And other than that, they have 2 home games against Chicago, who are, I don't know if, you may not, Washington may not win another game. They may not win another game.
They have more, they have more talent than the Kings. All in all, I think, more athletic players.
You're talking about the team that they're putting on the court right now, you mean, for the rest of the year?
Yeah, Bub Carrington had been out. Is Sarr still on the court? I think he is. He's still
playing with Riley, Trey Johnson, and obviously Trae Young. I can't remember their small forward, but Alex Starr is still playing. Yes.
So they have
You're right. They
more
do have
talented
more talent.
team
right.
than the Kings are
Very
running
true.
out on the nights
True.
that Monk sits, on the nights that Westbrook sits.
Yeah. And you said, again, I want to back up a couple of moments ago, Dylan Cardwell is not on the injury report.
He's
so that
not.
led me to believe that he's playing tomorrow.
And don't forget the energy he brings to this team.
Yes.
This is a team, as much as we think they could only maybe win a couple of games, they could run off 4-7.
I'm with you 100%. I think it's not a stretch. I'm with you 100% on that. Well, let's just go over the schedule real quick. I'll read it to you. All right. So you have the Clippers tomorrow, and then you come home for the 4 games. And those are 4 home games. When you talk about like projecting who you're going to win and who you're going to lose against, and you make a good point. You don't really know who Doug's going to have on the floor and who's going to have like a sore ankle or a sore knee or whatever. But after the Clippers game, your 4 games look like this, okay? You have Utah, Sunday night. San Antonio, Philadelphia, Brooklyn. So you could win easily the Utah game and the Brooklyn game. And then you're at Charlotte. What's that?
Utah's the game that you want to lose the most out of
Correct.
those 4.
Correct. You're at Charlotte. You're at Orlando. You're at Atlanta. Probably going to lose all 3 of those. Brooklyn, you could win that game. Then you come home, then you go to Toronto. You're going to lose that. Then you got the Pelicans at home, the Clippers at home, the Warriors on the road, the Warriors are home, and Portland on the road.
You're going to lose San Antonio. So I'm going to say Utah. That's a flip. It's a toss-up.
Second night of a back-to-back.
Oh, good point. Okay, you should lose that game.
Mm-hmm.
You should. Keontae George, if he's playing, you should
Right.
lose that game. San Antonio, you're definitely losing. That's on Peacock as of right now. I think it might have gotten flexed, so I'll double check that. Philadelphia, that's a toss-up to me because when Maxey and Embiid don't play, that's not a great team.
Correct.
by any stretch of the imagination. Brooklyn, you should win that, but it's a 3:00 start. The Kings usually do not play well in 3:00, and it's Jordy Fernandez's only trip to Sacramento.
Yeah.
So
George is not playing. He's out.
Yeah, but with Embiid and Maxey, they're sometimes night to night. Like last night, they didn't play.
Yeah, but George he's not even going to be reassessed for 2 weeks with a hamstring.
I didn't say his name.
Wait, I thought you said if he doesn't play.
Keontae George.
Keontae George. Yes.
He's out 2 weeks.
Yes, he's out. Yes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Paul George with Philadelphia.
No. Keontae George.
Okay.
Yeah. With the Jazz. So he's out. Listen, I'm with you 100% on this, exactly what you just said. There are some games that it wouldn't surprise me, especially with Dylan Cardwell coming back.
That's the thing. He's going to play major minutes. You have to play in major minutes.
Yeah. Somebody wants to ask me if I thought the hit to Austin Matthews the other night was a dirty hit. He's out for the rest of the season. I thought it was pretty dirty. It was. Very dirty play. Yeah, the captain of the Leafs out. Yep. I thought it was a dirty hit.
How dirty? Like
dirty enough where I think there should be some punishment delved out. So that's my opinion. Don't forget the weekend, couple of games, YouTube, X, post-game shows. So we've got you covered with the Kings as they wind down their season. World Baseball Classic going on if you're into baseball and this event. If you win, you move on. If you lose, well, then you lose. It is 1-0, and the United States has the lead in the third with 2 outs and 2 on. The U.S. is up at the plate, and again, third inning, a low-scoring game so far, 1-0.
How do they work out where the game's played? So it's the USA, if they win through, will they still be playing in Houston, or does this thing move around?
I don't know how it works, to be quite honest with you. I haven't followed it close enough to be able to tell you that.
It would seem like all roads lead through Houston, but who knows?
I know one thing. Right now, all roads lead through Canada, because you better make sure you win this game, or it won't matter where you're playing, because you won't be playing.
Fair enough. What do you
but you had the bases loaded now, so I mean, I'm hoping somebody comes up that you have on your prize picks, that whether it's Raleigh or Judge, and they can hit one out of the yard for you.
Heck yeah. I try not to watch, because that to me is bad luck. I check in when I check in on my phone. Really quick, what do you think about all these dugout things? Like Italy's getting all this run for having their espresso machine in the dugout when they hit a home run.
I haven't even noticed. I haven't watched much of the World Baseball Classic. I'm not really into it, like in pool play. I didn't get into it in pool play. I'm watching the game now, but I haven't really watched. I've watched very little of the pool play. And if they win this game, obviously I'll jump on the semifinal, and if they get into the finals. But I really haven't been following it close enough. You're talking about the gimmicks in the dugout?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I don't have a problem with it. I haven't seen the one you're referring to, the espresso machine.
Yeah, it's getting a lot of run. Ton
you
of
like
run.
it?
It's a good idea. I mean, I don't mind it. It's a lot of espresso if you're scoring a lot of runs, though.
I'd rather have, like pizza or something in there than an espresso machine.
Pizza? That's awesome.
Yeah, you could do something clever with that. Sure.
That's awesome. Well, I will be reporting on Sunday night from the Kings game. So I'll be there early, get to talk to some people, and looking forward to being on postgame with you, buddy, this weekend.
Yep, sounds good. Again, 1-0 currently in the third inning. If you lose, you're done. And if you win, you move on to the semifinals. And it's a close game right now, but you got the bases loaded for Team USA. And let's see who's up right now. I don't even know who's up. I can't see that far. But anyway, what I do know is Bregman's up. Alex Bregman's up. So it's 1-0. Again, this ball game is early in the third inning. The Dominican was rolling over Korea. I think the last time I saw that was 7-0 was the score in that game, and it's still 7-0. That game is in the bottom of the seventh. A lot of people think the Dominicans the team to beat, not the U.S., that they've got the best roster and the best team. They are playing really, really well. Really well. So we'll see. Got to win this game first, and then we'll see what happens. Hey, my thanks to all of you for joining us each and every day between 3 and 6. We appreciate that. If you join a little bit late to the show, hour number 1 will be replayed at 6 o'clock. So you can always check out live, or you can go back and listen to the show on the podcast. Don't forget, we're streaming every day on YouTube and X as well. A base hit, 3-0 U.S. So they have now runners on the corners, and they've built up the lead to 3-0. So they've already got 2 across. Bregman on an infield single to third. Harper scored, Judge scored, and it is 3-0. Hope you have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. Enjoy the hot weather, the beautiful weather. Get out and play some golf. Enjoy yourself. And don't forget, be back here Monday at 3 o'clock. My thanks to Buck Martinez today, Joe Davidson of the Sacramento Bee. For Rhino in Sacktown, I'm Grant Napear, saying so long, and thanks so much for checking out the Grant Napear Show on Fox Sports Sacramento.